Okay, hi guys, I think I'm live now. Thanks guys for tuning in. Let us put a target. Let us put a target for ourselves. Let the target for today be 350 likes. So please do like the stream, guys. Today we'll be discussing arithmetic. We'll do the complete revision. I wanted to do LRDA, but many people suggested arithmetic. So we'll continue with arithmetic. Whatever session you want for next week, please do let us know in the comments. We'll definitely look at it and we will take a call and we'll let you know. Some of the things that we're considering are either arithmetic, not arithmetic, either algebra or LRDA or verbal. One of those three we'll do. So you can just comment, we'll look at the chat and we will let you know. Today this session will be for approximately 4 hours. So maybe for 4 to 4.5 hours this session will go on. Let us see based on how many people are online, how many people are active, we'll take a call at that time. Okay, thanks. So let us get started. Let us start with the first question. Okay, before I start the first question, my team wanted me to tell you about these things. These are very important questions for Quant. Many times I tell people that, okay, in the last 1 month to CAT, you have to practice a lot of questions. In this last 1 month, even this stream, for example, is intended to practice a lot of questions. I'll give a question and then I want you to solve it and so on. Now, these are very good resources. All of these are PDFs. You have to just Google search for Cracku CAT Quant questions or Cracku CAT DLR questions or Cracku CAT VRC questions. Normally, I would have given all of these links in the description of this video, but it was getting too clumsy. There were just too many links. And even I was feeling overwhelmed by looking at the number of links in each of the description. So I told them to remove all of them. And I told them that I will actually tell people to just Google search for Cracku CAT Quant questions. You will get this page where you have all of these topic wise questions. There are PDFs. The page will look something like this. You have all the different topics and you will have a PDF. For example, CAT averages questions, you have a PDF. You have CAT arithmetic questions with a PDF. All of these different CAT linear equations, you have a PDF. All of these PDFs I don't know whether you can see it or not, but all of these are the topics and here will be the link of the PDF. You will get all of it when you just Google search for CAT Quant questions. And in the PDF only, you have a link where you can actually click on a button and you will be redirected to the video solution page. We have designed these PDFs with a lot of care and I think these are very good resources completely for free where you can solve a lot of questions. With that being said, I would say just bookmark these pages so that you don't need to lose track of it and you can use them after the stream is over. So let us get started with the first question. This is the first question. This is on your screen now. Very good afternoon, Vishal. Audio quality is not good. Really, guys, please do let me know if the audio quality is good or not. Okay, verbal, I am okay with all of that, but just please confirm if the audio quality is good or not. If the audio quality is not good, I'll ask somebody to look into it so that we can continue with the session. It's bad. Okay, audio quality is not good, really? Okay. Okay. 1 second. I'll put the mic on the outside, maybe this should help. Let me know if the audio quality is good now or not. I don't know, many people, I guess your mic is not connected. Okay, thank you, man. I hope it is good now. I was wearing it inside out. I think that was the issue. Okay, take it. Please do like the stream. We have 140 people who are watching the stream live. Okay, thanks, man. Thank you. Many people are saying it is better now, so thank you. We have 140 people who are watching the stream live and we have only 60 likes. I want 350 likes, so we need 290 more likes. Okay, the time is up. Because the audio was not good and my team really wanted me to talk about the topic wise questions, I just want to go back to this. I'm sorry, but earlier because the audio was not good, I'll just repeat it. So we have made a lot of very useful PDFs where you have to just Google search for these keywords, Cracku CAT Quant questions or Cracku CAT DLR questions or Cracku CAT VRC questions. Once you Google search them, you will get a page where you will have a list of PDFs for each of them. This is for the Quant topic-wise questions. You will have different topics. For example, CAT number systems, CAT time and work questions, CAT speed, time and distance questions. All of them are different PDFs. Download these PDFs, keep them and practice them whenever you get time. They will be a very good resource for you. Now let us get started with this particular question. So many people got this correct. I'll give a shout out to everybody who got it correct after the session is over. So this is an easy question if I remember correctly. Yeah. A man can complete a given job in 8 days working alone. However, if two or more men work together, their individual efficiency decreases by 20% due to friction. How many men are needed to finish this job in 1 day? Let us assume that the work done by one man in 1 day is 1 unit. Now the time taken to finish the job is 8 days. So total work that needs to be done will be 8 units. But now if more than one people are working, each man can't do 1 unit of work. Their efficiency decreases by 20%. So the new work done by one man will be 0.8 units. Now, how many men are needed to finish this job in 1 day? So, if say n men are there, the total work that is done is 0.8 into n. This has to equal the total work, which is 8, or the value of n is equal to 10 men. So, the answer for this question is option A. This is a fairly simple, straightforward question to start off with, just to give people some confidence. Let us look at the next question. Cracku. అవును కానీ ఇందాక మరి అలా చేస్తే వాళ్ళకి ఏదో ఇది వచ్చింది నాకు కదా ఇదో ఇది ఆఫ్ ఉంటావా ఆన్ ఉంటావా ఆన్ ఓకే చిన్నది బయట పెట్టిన చూసి చెప్పు This also is not a very difficult question. So I hope many people actually get it correct. Let us see. There is still time. There is around a minute left. Okay, time is up. Let us try to solve this question. In this question, there is P who can do a piece of work in 10 days. So the number of days P takes to finish the job is 10 days. Now B in 15 days. B can do it in 15 days. Now they work for 5 days. Normally when you are given the time that it takes for anybody to finish a job, we are not interested in the time itself, we are interested in how much work they do in unit time. So let us assume that the total work that needs to be done is the LCM of 10 and 15. We can assume this total work to be anything. If it is a multiple, then there won't be any fractions and the calculations are easier. So this will be 30 units. Let us assume that the total work that needs to be done is 30 units. P takes 10 days to do 30 units of work. So in one day, the amount of work done by P is 3 units. B takes 15 days to do 30 units of work. So in one day, he does 2 units. Now both of them work together for 5 days. When both of them work together, in one day, the amount of work done is 5 units. So in 5 days, both of them will do 25 units of work. And how much work is left? We thought that the total work is 30 units. 25 units are done, so 5 units are left. These 5 units were finished by R in 2 days. So the amount of work done by R in one day is 2.5 units. What we are told is that they got a total of 1500 rupees for the total work. That is, for the total of 30 units, they got 1500 rupees. So how much money do they get per 1 unit? The money that they will get will be 1500 divided by 30, which is rupees 50. So the sum of the daily wages of B and R is, B does 2 units every day, R does 2.5 units every day. So both of them together will do 4.5 units. So the total work that they will do in one day is 4.5 units. For every 1 unit, 50 rupees are paid. So total daily wages will be 4.5 into 50, which is rupees 225. This is the sum of the daily wages of B and R, which is option D. Let me quickly give a shout out to the people who got this correct, and after that we'll go to the next question. People who got this correct are Shardul, Sunil, Vikas Chaudhary, Sumit, Yasir Arafat, Surender, Sunil Sharma, Vikas, Sumit, Surender, Vansh, Ansh, Akuja, Venkat Saikiran, Vedant, Sankalp and Riya. Let us go to the next one. We have 180 people who are watching the stream live. Please do like the stream. We have only 108 likes. So I need another 242 more likes. Please do like the stream, guys. The more number of people who like the stream, the more number of streams we will actually do, because we are also humans. So these kind of things motivate us. So please do like the stream, guys. Andrew Ramesh is saying, sir, Cracku marathons are helping me improve my mock score. In mocks, I'm getting 84 to 90 marks in mocks. Very good, man. Just continue to solve a lot of questions. That is what we do in the marathons. I focus on getting people to solve as many questions as they can. Because the more questions you solve, the more confident you'll get and the faster you get. So it improves both speed as well as your accuracy. Okay, guys, the time is up. Let us try to solve it. In this question, we are told that there are 100 people in a group. Each person, while working individually, can complete the piece of work in 100 days. So let us assume that work done by one person in one day is 1 unit. So total work that needs to be done, because one person takes how many days? One person takes 100 days to finish this job. So total work that needs to be done is 100 units. What we are told is that one person starts working on the project. So on the first day, the work done is 1 unit. On the second day, another person joins it. So on the second day, the total work that is done is 2 units. On the third day, one more person joins the first two. So on the third day, the total work that is done is 3 units, and so on. So on the nth day, the total work that is done is n. This goes on till the work is completed. On which day does the work get completed? So on the nth day, n units of work are done. So what is the total work that is done? The total work that is done is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 till n. We know the sum of the first n natural numbers. The sum of the first n natural numbers, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 till n, is n into n plus 1 divided by 2. We want this n into n plus 1 divided by 2 to be greater than or equal to 100, because this is the total work that is done on n days. Now, what is the smallest value of n for which n into n plus 1 by 2 is greater than or equal to 100? Or we want n into n plus 1 to be greater than or equal to 200. You will notice by trial and error it is not very difficult. If n is equal to say 12, n into n plus 1 is 12 into 13, which is 156. If n is 13, n into n plus 1 is 13 into 14, which will be equal to 182. If n is equal to 14, n into n plus 1 is 14 into 15, which is 210. This is greater than 200 for the first time. So the work will be finished on the 14th day, which is option B. Let me quickly give a shout out to everybody who got the question correct before we go to the next question. A lot of people got this question correct, which is good to see. They are Mitesh, Vikas Chaudhary, Niharika, Sankalp, Madan Tamil, Yash, Arundhati, Likhit, Divesh Vijay, Sonima, Vishwanath, Surender, Sumit, Atreya, Tanish, Prajukta, Sunil Sharma, and Akriti Agarwal. Well done, guys. Let us look at the next question. We have 190 people who are watching the stream live. We have only 150 likes. So everybody who is watching the stream, please do like the stream so that more people can join us next time. This is the next question. We need 200 more likes. This also is a straightforward question, not very difficult. Pratik Purohit is saying, hi sir, good afternoon. Any tips for working professionals in these last days of preparation? I would say for anybody in these last days, you have to solve a lot of questions. For working professionals, I would say one additional consideration that I'll give is try to keep your mind free. Try to not, which is again true for everybody, but it might be especially a challenge for working professionals because they will also have work stress. So try not to get into any confrontation at work. Try to like keep yourself low in the sense, lie low. Don't get into any like unnecessary conflicts because it will affect your mental health, which is not good. Right now, your mind should be relaxed, okay, because you want as little distractions as possible. All of those things I would say is important for everybody, but especially for working professionals. But other than that, the only thing I would tell you is try to solve as many questions as you can. For working professionals, I will say try to see if you can take the last couple of weeks off from your work to solve a lot of questions, but also to just get into that zone of doing well in the examination. Because if you think about it, if you are working till Friday, you will carry that baggage to the examination, the baggage of work. So try to at least take the last 1 week off so that you can just relax and let your mind rest. Theanish is saying, sir, is it advisable to learn new quant concept? I would say I would recommend you to finish the quant syllabus so that if an easy question comes from any topic, you should be able to answer it. If a very simple question comes from, say, number systems, I don't want you to leave it. That is why I would say you should cover the syllabus. You should have a strong points, but you should not have a completely weak point. It should not happen that if a very simple question comes from, say, geometry, you are not answering it. That should not happen. In this question, we are told that A, B, C can do a piece of work in 10, 15 and 30 days. A can do it in 10 days. B can do it in 15 days. C can do it in 30 days. Like I mentioned many times, what we are interested in is not the time that they take to finish the job, but how much work that they do in unit time. So let us assume that the total work that needs to be done is the LCM of 10, 15 and 30. What is the least common multiple of 10, 15 and 30? That is 30 units. So in one day, what is the amount of work done by A? A takes 10 days to do 30 units of work. So in one day, he does 3 units of work. B takes 15 days to do 30 units of work. So in one day, he does 2 units of work. C takes 30 days to do 30 units of work. So in one day, C does 1 unit of work. Now B and C both assist A on every third day. So on the first day, A works alone and A finishes 3 units of work. On the second day, again A works alone, he does 3 units of work. On the third day, A, B and C, all 3 of them work, and the amount of work that they will finish is 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6 units. Therefore, after 3 days, the total work that is done is 3 plus 3 plus 6, which is 12 units. This is the work that is done on 3 days. So after 6 days, the total work that is done will be 24 units. On the 7th day, they do 3. On the 8th day, they do 3. So these two combined will be another 6 units. So on the 7th day, it will be 27. And on the 8th day, the entire work of 30 units is finished. So the work will be completed on the 8th day, which is option C. Let us give a shout out to everybody who got this question correct before going to the next question. They are Sankalp, Tanish, Atreya, Ansh, Aniket, Vishwanath, Sunil Sharma, Sumit, Vikas Chaudhary, Rudra Pratap Singh, Likhit, Akoja Venkat Sai Kiran, Siddhu, Rishabh, Sid, Jampani Charan, Vibhuti, Mahesh, Sonima, Niharika, Sunil, Vaishnavi, Nishant, Harsh, Surender, Hirok, Surender, everyone's stock market. Okay, guys, let us go to the next question. There are 220 people who are watching the stream live, and we have 180 likes. So, guys, if 220 people are watching and we have only 180 likes, at least 40 people haven't liked the stream. Please do like it. We are putting a lot of effort. All of us are putting a lot of effort. You're also putting a lot of effort. So, let us please like it so that it motivates my team to work on a Saturday. This is an interesting question, man. Try to solve it. People are saying, okay, all the questions were easy, no? This is also not a difficult question, but it is an interesting question. This is definitely a CAT level question, but again, not a difficult question. Anish Agarwal is saying, sir, why can't we do the 12 units completed in 3 days, then 30 units in 7.5 days? Because the work that is being done is not continuous. It is not like the work that is being done every day is like 12 by 3. On the first day it is 3, on the second day it is 3, on the third day it is 6. On the fourth day it is 3, on the fifth day it is 3, on the next day it is 6. So it is not continuous, so we have to look at it as discrete amounts. Thank you. Akshat Priyadarshi is saying, can I boost my score in quants to 30-36 in the last 20 days? If I have completed arithmetic algebra, I only need to practice. I would say you need to do well in arithmetic algebra and geometry because 36 marks is very close to 99 percentile. And I don't think anybody can get 99 percentile by doing only arithmetic and algebra. I don't want to like demotivate you, but if you're focused only on arithmetic and algebra, I don't think that is the right mindset. I think you need to be good at both arithmetic, algebra and geometry, and on top of it, you should complete the syllabus so that if an easy question comes from any of the other topics, you should be able to get it correct. Then I think you stand a chance to get 99 percentile. Again, I'm sorry, probably this is not something that you want to listen to, but that is what I would feel is needed to get 99 percentile. It will be very difficult to get 99 percentile if you're focused only on arithmetic and algebra. And 99 percentile would be around 36 marks. Maybe 36 to 40 would be around 99 percentile. Okay, let us solve this question, guys. A ship is moving at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour and it develops a leak 60 kilometers from the shore. So, what is the time taken to reach the shore? Time taken to reach the shore is 1.5 hours. It is basically 60 divided by 40. Distance divided by speed. 1 ton of water enters the ship every minute from a hole. A worker is able to empty 2 tons of water every hour. So, from the water entering, if you are looking at it per minute, every minute water entering is 1. And worker emptying will be 2 tons are being emptied every hour. So worker is emptying 1 by 30 liters every minute because he is emptying 2 tons in 60 minutes. 30 tons of water would sink the ship. How many workers should work for the ship to just reach the shore before sinking? Let us assume that M workers are working. One worker empties 1 by 30 tons in 1 minute. So if M workers are working, how much water would they empty in 1 minute? They would empty M by 30. How much water is actually being filled? 1 ton of water is being filled by the hole every minute. So effectively the amount of water that is entering is every minute 1 minus M by 30. This is what is entering the ship every minute. How many minutes does the ship take to reach the shore? It takes 1.5 hours, which is equal to 90 minutes. So what is the total amount of water that enters? It is 1 minus M by 30 into 90 is equal to 30 liters, 30 tons. That is the water that is needed for the ship to sink. You solve this, you will get the value of M. This is basically 1 by 3. Or M by 30 is equal to 2 by 3, or the value of M is equal to 20. So if there are 20 men, they would just about take the ship to the shore. So the answer for this question is option C, which is 20. This is not a difficult question, but this is definitely a tricky question. This kind of question can definitely come in the examination. The only difference is in the examination, people might feel more nervous and they might take more time to actually understand it. We have 205 guys who are watching the stream live. We have 220 likes. We just need another 130 likes. Please do like the stream. And let me give a shout out to the people who got this correct. Devesh, Vikas Chaudhary, Sunil, Surender, Tribhuvan, Charan Jampani, Yash, Madan, Ayush, Ansh, Ayam and Sidhu Vempati. Let us look at the next question. This is an easy question. Should be straightforward. I give only 2 minutes. Others just are listening, sir. While solving quant section of test series, I'm taking a lot of time to solve and I can only solve 7 to 9 questions. You have to practice a lot of questions between mocks for your speed to increase. There is no other way in which your speed will increase. You have to ensure that you are solving a lot of questions. So try to take the quant rush, try to take the Cracku study room, something or the other. Or you remember the topic wise PDFs that I told you about. Just Google search Cracku CAT quant questions. Then you will get a page where there are a lot of PDFs. You can download those PDFs. Something or the other, I want you to solve a lot of questions. Yes, sir, Arafat is saying, sir, is it possible to complete geometry now? I have completed the portions but did not practice. Cracku mentor asked me to focus on arithmetic and algebra as I am unable to solve more than 6. Please guide me. I would say if you are not able to complete 6, focus on arithmetic and algebra, because if you are good at both of them, you will at least get 9 to 10 questions. If you are struggling to get to 6, maybe you should first focus on arithmetic and algebra. I would also tell you to look at geometry. There are some questions that come from geometry also. And try to get an understanding of all the concepts, man. Even if you are not very comfortable or confident, if a very easy question comes from any topic, you should be able to get it. That I think is very important. Okay, let us answer this question. X left for work from his house at 8 a.m. and his speed is 30 kilometers per hour. So X is here. He left at 8 a.m. and his speed is 30 kilometers per hour. His brother started at the same place at 8:15. This guy started at 8:15 a.m. and his speed is 35 kilometers per hour. Now, so the brother started 15 minutes later. In those 15 minutes, how much distance did X travel? This is 1/4 of an hour into 30 kilometers. So he traveled 7.5 kilometers. So at that point, at 8:15, X is here and his brother is here. His brother started at 35 kilometers per hour. X is continuing to go at 30 kilometers per hour. So the relative speed of the brother with respect to X is 5 kilometers per hour. The distance that they have to catch up is 7.5 kilometers. So the time taken for the brother to catch X is 7.5 kilometers, which is the distance between them, divided by 35 minus 30, which is the relative speed of both of them, which is 5. This is equal to 1.5 hours. So what is the time at which they both meet? It is 1.5 hours after 8:15. That will be 9:45 a.m. So both of them will meet at 9:45 a.m. By this time, X traveled for 1 hour and 45 minutes. What is the speed of X? Speed of X is 30 kilometers per hour. So what is the distance that X would have traveled? 1 hour 45 minutes is 7/4. It is 7/4 into 30. This is 15. This is 2, which is equal to 105 divided by 2, which is 52.5 kilometers. So the time taken, the time at which they would meet is 9:45 a.m. and the distance would be 52.5. This is a fairly simple, straightforward question. So I'll still give a shout out to people who got it correct. Likhit, Vishwanath, Akkuja Venkat Sai Kiran, Sunil, Devesh Vijay, Prajakta, Sanjana, Shreyas, Vikas, Abhishri Balaji, Sonima, Tribhuvan, Ansh, Harshit, Piyush Raj, Vibhuti and Akshat. For students who are looking for free mock tests, you have to just Google search Cracku CAT mock test. We have 3 free mock tests. All of them are in the latest pattern and all of them have detailed video solutions. They're taken by tens of thousands of students and I think they will be very, very useful for you. Definitely do check it out. Even the Cracku students who are enrolled to the Cracku Dash Cats, if you have not taken the free mocks, definitely do take them. All of them, the difficulty level is similar to CAT 2024 and it will be very useful for you. In addition to it, one of the things that many people tend to do in the last 1 month, which I think is actually a pretty good thing, is taking CAT, each of the CAT previous papers in exam format. If you have not taken the exam, if you have not taken the questions of say last year's CAT, there are 3 slots. You can take each one of them as a test. You have to just go to our previous papers page and you can click on take test and a test will start. You can take it as a mock. That will give you a very good idea of how you would have performed on that particular day. You can go to that page by just Google searching Cracku CAT previous year's papers. The reason I don't want to put all of them in the description is because in the description I don't want too many links. It will just be too overwhelming for students. So if you are interested, if you feel that this is useful for you, you can just Google search Cracku CAT previous papers and you'll go there. I would definitely say that if you have not seen these questions, definitely take them in the test format. That will be very useful for you. If you have already seen the questions but want to practice it, I would say download this PDF. The PDF link also is given here. This is the link for the PDF. Each of the slot has a PDF. You can just download a PDF and you can solve the questions on your own. In addition to it, there are some very useful materials on YouTube. You can definitely do check it out. We have a series of 100 quant questions. We release it every year. They are pretty good questions, very high quality questions in my opinion, and many people really love it. You can see the number of views that they have or the number of likes that those videos got. Very, very useful. You have to just Google search 100 quant questions Cracku or something on YouTube. You will get a playlist. The playlist will have 5 or 6 videos. Very useful. You can definitely check it out. Especially when people say, okay, I don't know where to solve questions from. This is where you can solve questions from. You also have the revision videos. Like when people say that, okay, sir, I have done arithmetic algebra. I don't know geometry. Can I finish geometry? That was what Yasir was asking just a few months back, a few minutes back, right? I wanted to tell him at that point of time that he can check these revision videos. The whole point of these revision videos is, if you look at these revision videos, there are 4 videos, 2 in quant, 1 in verbal, 1 in LRDI. Both the quant revision videos together will be around 4 or 4.5 hours long. If you finish those 4.5 hours long videos, what you will come out at the end of it is, you will get a glimpse of the entire syllabus. So if a very easy question comes from any topic, you will be able to answer it. That I think is also a very good strategy. And I would definitely recommend people to watch it, because the way you should attempt the CAT examination is, you should be, this is in an ideal situation, you should be very good at arithmetic, algebra, geometry. This is for somebody who's aiming for 99 percentile. You should be very good at arithmetic, algebra and geometry, so that if a medium level question comes also, you are getting it correct. If a easy question comes, you will definitely get it correct. And if a hard level question comes, you have some chance of getting it correct in these three topics. But in the other topics, like say functions or logarithms or permutations, combinations or number systems, which are not as important, but again questions come from them, if a very easy question comes, you should get it correct. The whole point of this revision video is to ensure that you know all the formulas, you know all the syllabus, all the concepts. So if a very easy question comes where you have to just directly apply the formula, you will get it correct in any topic. That also I think is very, very useful. Definitely do check out the revision videos. They will be very helpful for you. The verbal video in this playlist, I watch every time before going to CAT. I've watched that video multiple times. The reason for that is because there are some tricks that Sayali says in those videos which help me in the verbal ability section. That is, how can I rule out some options? What are the different things that I have to keep in mind when I'm going through the options? So even though I know all of them, it just is good for me to recollect all of them before the examination. So I would highly recommend you to watch these videos. They'll be very helpful for you. Let us look at the next question. If people are wondering where to get these revision videos, you have to just Google search. I'll just tell it to you so that you don't have to worry. Just on YouTube search Cracku CAT revision videos. You will get a playlist. This playlist should have 4 videos. That will be very useful for you. Or you just comment on this video if you are interested. We'll post a link for those videos. That also I think should be okay. Let us look at the this also I think is a CAT level question. Definitely, I think, yeah. Not difficult, but CAT level. The Yashir is saying, why are you checking time from 8:15 instead of 8 am? Because X starts at 8, his brother starts at 8:15. So in that 15 minutes, X traveled some kilometers. I think he traveled 7.5 kilometers. So at 8:15, X is 7.5 kilometers ahead of his brother. But his brother is catching up with him. His brother is coming at a faster pace. His brother is coming at 5 kilometers per hour faster than X. So he would take 7.5 divided by 5, which is 1.5 hours. सीजे से सर आप इतना लॉन्ग मेथड से क्यों करते हो, बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स और मुश्किल लगता है ऐसे. Basically, I feel that if you understand the question and if you understand the concept, even if the question changes, you should be able to get it. That is why I try to solve it like this. And I solve it like this even in the examination. And in the examination, I many times get full marks in Quant. So I believe that my methods, they might appear long, but if you know the concepts, you should be able to solve it faster. I don't know, man. I in general don't want you to learn these shortcuts, okay, or tricks, because you can't apply shortcuts in every like situation. But if you know the concept clear, then you can apply it in any question. This session will go for around 4.5 hours, man. Guys, please do like the stream, man. How many likes did we get till now? We got 235 likes. We need just another 115 likes. We can definitely achieve it so that we can get to 350 likes. So please do like the stream. Okay. A can complete a piece of work in 2 days, which can be completed by B in 3 days and C in 6 days. So A can complete the work in 2 days. B can complete it in 3 days. And C can complete it in 6 days. Let us assume that the total work that needs to be done in this particular case is say 6 units. Why are we assuming that this is 6 units? Because 6 is the least common multiple of 2, 3 and 6. So in one day, the amount of work done by A is 3 units, because A is taking 2 days to do 6 units of work. So in one day, A will do 3 units of work. B is taking 3 days to do 6 units of work. So in one day, he does 2 units of work. C is taking 6 days to do 6 units of work. So in one day, he does 1 unit of work. So this is the amount of work that they do in one particular day. Now a new project is given by that which they can complete in 4 days if they work together. If all of them are working together, the amount of work that they will do is 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6 units. So they do 6 units of work in one day. So the new project the total work that needs to be done is 6 into 4, which is equal to 24 units. Why is it 4? Because it is given that they take 4 days to finish this work if they are working together. A and B start the work. If A and B are working together, they do 3 plus 2, which is 5 units every day. And how many days do they work? They work for 2 days. And the work that they finish is 10 units. B leaves and C replaces him for 3 days. So after A and B, it is A and C. And A and C, how much work do they do? C does 1 unit, A does 3 units, so that is 4 units. So this is 4 into they work together for 3 days. So the total work that they do is 12 units. So how much work is finished? It is 10 plus 12, which is 22 units is finished. What is the total work that had to be done? 24 units. So what is the work remaining? Work remaining will be 2 units. Now who is doing these 2 units? Two units are being completed by B alone. B does 2 units of work every day. So B takes just 1 day to finish this job, because every day he does 2 units and the work remaining is 2 units. So how many days does B take to finish this job? It is 1, which is option D. Let us see how many people got it correct, and let me give a shout out to all of those guys. Akshat, Ayush, Vishwanath, Sunil Sharma, Ayush, Vishal Datta, Tribhuvan, Prajakta, Atrey Dasgupta, Ansh, Vikas Chaudhary, Vansh, Sumit, Mahesh, Niharika and Sonima. Let us look at the next question. Yeah, try to solve it, man. This also is a good question. We need 106 more likes. Please do like this stream, guys. Asher is saying, sir, please VRC session tomorrow if you or Sayali can afford it. Okay. Interesting. Tomorrow we are having a stream for NMAT and Snap. You can definitely tune in tomorrow afternoon. I think it is on algebra for NMAT and Snap. Okay, SG, what question did you ask? Sir, what are the high frequency and important topics in algebra? Like how many questions should I solve daily from now on? In algebra, there are 3 topics which are important: linear equations, quadratic equations and inequalities. I would say the easiest of them is quadratic equations. So that is the lowest hanging fruit. Try to solve it first. After that, linear equations, and after that come to inequalities. I am talking from the standpoint of an exam setter. It is difficult to set a difficult question in quadratic equations. It is possible, not as difficult as it is say arithmetic. But amongst the three, many times easy questions come in quadratic equations. Then go to linear equations, and after that come to inequalities. Solve 5 questions or so from each of them every day. That should be sufficient. It basically depends on you, man. You should do whatever it takes to improve. That should be your attitude. Okay. The time is up. Let us try to solve this question. In this question, we are told that there are two friends A and B. They started from X and Y for Y and X respectively. So this is X, this is Y, this is A here, he is going this side, this is B here, he is coming towards A. They turn back after reaching the destinations and return back to their starting point. When they reached for the first time, they were 15 kilometers away from X. So initially they met somewhere over here. This was 15 kilometers, and when they met for the second time, they were traveling towards each other and 10 kilometers away from Y. Okay. Calculate the distance between X and Y. So if you assume that the distance between X and Y is say S kilometers, we are required to calculate the value of S. If the distance is S, and if for example they meet for the first time at Z, which is 15 kilometers from X, what is the distance between Y and Z? This will be S minus 15. Therefore, the ratio of the speed of A divided by the speed of B is equal to how much distance they traveled in the same time. In the same time, X traveled or A traveled from X to Z, which is 15 kilometers. B traveled from Y to Z, he traveled S minus 15. They traveled both of these in the same time, so this is the ratio of their speeds. The second time that they meet, this is X and this is Y. A went from X to Y and then he came back and he reached over here. This distance is 10 kilometers. So the total distance A traveled before they met for the second time will be S plus 10. And what is the distance that B traveled? B traveled all the way here. He traveled S and then he came all the way here. This distance is S minus 10. So the total distance B traveled will be S plus S minus 10, which is equal to S plus 10 divided by 2S minus 10. Now both of this have to be the same. The ratio of the speeds is the same. So this has to equal this. This is what? 15 divided by S minus 15. We can now just cross multiply. We'll get a quadratic equation in S which we have to solve to get the answer. If we are cross multiplying, 30S minus 150 is equal to S square minus 15S plus 10S minus 150. You can cancel minus 150 here, you can cancel minus 150 here. So 35S is equal to S square, or the value of S, which is the distance, is 35 kilometers. So the distance between X and Y is 35 kilometers, which is option D. Let me give a shout out to the students. Again, I would say this is a CAT level question, maybe medium level CAT level question. If you got it correct, then I think you are doing well. And people who got it correct are Sankalp, Akshat, Matthew, Vikas Chaudhary, Sanjana, Mahesh, Madan Taman, Vishal Datta, Surender, Prajakta, Riya, Ayam, Yash, Ayush, Vishwanath and Sonima. Let us look at the next question, guys. We have 255 likes. So we just need 95 more likes. I promised my team that we'll get to 350 likes before the stream ends. So please do like the stream, guys. That is the reason I'm asking you so many times. Sir, when I solve one subject, another one suffers. I think that is just a psychological issue, man. It won't happen that you're forgetting something in a day or two. It won't happen. It is possible that you are losing some practice or something like that, but don't worry about it. It is just psychological. Sir, can we give boards again? Okay, because 10th is 60 to improve profile to 998, and will new marks be accepted in schools and placement companies? I don't know, man. I don't know, and I am not sure that is a very good idea. For some reason, it feels like a hack, and in general, I don't recommend like shortcuts. I don't know, it feels like a shortcut, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. In this question, we are told that Ajay, Alai, and Vijay, they start at 80, 50, and 40 kilometers per hour. They start from the same point in the same direction. Ajay and Vijay, they start at 11 a.m. and 5 a.m. respectively. So let us assume that this is the point. Ajay starts here. I think he starts at 80 kilometers per hour. And he starts at 11 a.m. Vijay starts here. He starts at 40 kilometers per hour. And he starts at 5 a.m. Now, at what point would they both meet? At 11 a.m. when Ajay starts, Vijay has some sort of a head start. What is the head start? Because Ajay is starting at 11, Vijay is starting at 5. So, Vijay has a 6-hour head start. This would imply that by the time Ajay starts, Vijay would have already reached this distance. What is the distance that Vijay would cover in these 6 hours? Vijay would have covered 240 kilometers. So at 11 a.m. when Ajay is starting, Vijay is over here. And he is continuing to go this side. Now if he is going this side, he is going at 40 kilometers per hour. Ajay is chasing him at 80 kilometers per hour. The difference between these two is 40 kilometers per hour. That is the relative speed. So at what time would both of them meet? They would meet, this is at 11 a.m. They would meet at 240 kilometers, which is the head start that Vijay has, divided by 40 kilometers per hour, which is the relative speed between both of them. This is 80 minus 40. This is equal to 6 hours. So they meet 6 hours after 11 a.m., which is 5 p.m. So both of them meet at 5 p.m. So what is the total distance that they have covered? This total distance that they have covered would be the total time that they have traveled, which is 80 kilometers per hour into the travel for 6 hours, which is 480 kilometers. Now, what are we required to calculate? What we want to happen is we want this guy Alai to also reach this 480 kilometers away at 5 p.m. To do that, he will start slightly later. So he starts at this point. he reaches this 480 kilometers and he reaches at 5 p.m. What is the speed of Alai? The speed of Alai is given, it is 50 kilometers per hour. So how much time will Alai take to travel that 480 kilometers? He would take 480 divided by 50, which is equal to 9.6 hours, which is equal to 9 hours and 36 minutes. So Alai would reach that 480 kilometers after 9 hours and 36 minutes. So he will have to start at 5 p.m. minus 9 hours and 36 minutes, which will be 7:24 a.m. So if Alai starts at 7:24 a.m., he is going to take 9 hours and 36 minutes, and then he would reach the destination at exactly 5 p.m. and at exactly 5 p.m. the other two people, Ajay and Vijay, also would meet. So the answer for this particular question would be option A, which is 7:24 a.m. What exactly did we do in this? What we did is, we have three people. We first calculated what is the time at which Ajay and Vijay meet. We figured out that Ajay and Vijay would meet at 5 p.m. Then we figured out, okay, by that time, what is the distance that both of these guys would have traveled? We realized that both of them would have traveled exactly 480 kilometers. So now what we need is, Alai has to be exactly 480 kilometers away at 5 p.m. So he will have to travel for 9 hours and 36 minutes. If Alai has to travel for 9 hours and 36 minutes and reach the destination at 5 p.m., he will have to start 9 hours and 36 minutes before 5 p.m. which is 7:24 a.m. That will be the answer. Let me see how many people got it correct and let me give a shout out to them. Again, this is not a very simple question. This also is a definitely CAT level question. If you have gotten this correct, you should definitely be happy. Akshat, Vikas Chaudhary, Ayush, Ansh, Yasir, Devesh, Riya, Sunil, Krish, Likhit, Sonima, Sankalp, Vishwanath, Akuja, Venkat Sai Kiran, Krish and Vishal Datta. All of these guys got it correct. We also have 270 likes. We just need 80 more likes, guys. Please do like the stream. 80 more likes needed. I think this is an easy question. Gaurav, they are saying, sir, when I attempt RCs, even hard sets, while just casual practice, I get good accuracy, but while attempting them in mocks, I fail terribly. I think maybe you are panicking in mocks. Maybe you are not able to have the same amount of concentration because of the pressure of the mocks. But I would say the only way you will get over it is by taking more mocks. And take the mocks also very seriously. So that you will feel nervous the first time, you will feel nervous the second time, you will feel nervous the third time, you will feel nervous the 10th time, but you won't feel nervous on the 11th time, right? Or at least at some point, the nervousness will continue to decrease. The second thing I would say is, this again I say many times in my stream, be very kind to yourself. Don't punish yourself or don't like insult yourself, don't judge yourself if you don't perform well in mocks. You should be kind to yourself. You should tell yourself that it's okay. I'm not doing well in mocks. I'm feeling nervous. It's okay. That's fine. I'll improve. Be motivating. No? Tell yourself motivating things. Tell yourself, be sympathetic to yourself. Tell yourself that it's okay. I failed, but I'll try to improve next time. If you are very judging or harsh towards yourself, that pressure also will be more. Okay, let us try to solve this question, guys. There are two guys, Atul and Bala. They are traveling from P to Q. So this is P and they're going like this. They want to go to Q. The faster person reaches Q, immediately turns back and proceeds towards P. They meet at a point which is 30 kilometers from Q. They meet somewhere over here. Let us assume that they meet at a point R. This is 30. If the ratio of their speeds is 5:2, find the distance between P and Q. Let us assume that the distance between them is S kilometers, and we are required to calculate the value of S. Now, if Q to R is 30 kilometers, P to R will be S minus 30. So what is the distance that the faster person traveled? The faster person went from P to Q and then came back to R. So he traveled S plus 30. And what is the distance that the slower person traveled? The slower person traveled S minus 30. This ratio, we are told, is equal to 5:2. So S plus 30 divided by S minus 30 is 5/2. If you cross multiply, 2S plus 60 is equal to 5S minus 150. Or the value of 3S is equal to 210. Or the value of S is 70 kilometers. So the distance between both of them, both of these cities, is 70 kilometers. So the answer for this question is option A. This I think is definitely an easy question, probably definitely easier than CAT. Let me give a shout out to all the guys who got this correct, which is fine, man. If you get it correct, you should feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. Vishal Datta, Sanjana, Yash, Akshat, Vishwanath, Hemant, Akoja Venkat Sai Kiran, Likit, Sriram, Harshit, Surender, Sonima, Sankalp, Sid, Vikas Chaudhary, Devesh, Ayush, and Sidhu Vempati. Let us look at the next question. I think this is the course details for CAT 2026. We have launched a course for CAT 2026. This is true for students, and basically, if you want me to be honest, I hope that all of you who are watching the stream live do well in CAT and get into a good institute, so you don't need to take the CAT 2026 course. But the reason I'm promoting this is basically the stream will be live for many months. So if anybody is watching it later, I wanted to say that the CAT 2026 course is actually live. If you want to enroll to it, or if you are not taking CAT 2025 and you are looking to take CAT 2026, you can definitely check out the course. We have started a batch for CAT 2026 recently only, which again I think is a good time so that you don't feel nervous about the impending examination. You feel that there is enough time for you to actually improve in all of them. So this gives access to all of them. There is comprehensive material. All the videos are there. There are a lot of solved questions. We do have live classes. The live classes, I think they will get access to whatever live classes we are going to have. I teach the live classes every Monday. Sayali teaches the live classes every Tuesday. And there are also mock tests. All the mock tests that are available for this year as well as next year will be there. So that is about it. You can definitely check it out. Everything you need to know. All of them are in the exam pattern. Definitely do check it out. It's a pretty good course. If you want any more details, again, for simple reason, I don't want to put too many links in the description of this video. So you have to just Google search Cracku CAT 2026 course. You can just Google search it. You will get access to all of it. If you have any doubts with respect to this course, whether it is a price or anything like that, we do give scholarships for students who have done well in earlier CAT. We also give scholarships based on their academic performance in their 10th or 12th or undergraduation. You can check out all of them by calling the support number. This is our support number. You can note it down. If you have any doubts with respect to the course, you can definitely call us. All of the things that are available for CAT 2025 are also available for CAT 2026. I would just say that for CAT 2026 students, this is the time for you to prepare. You have 13 months. Good time so that you don't get nervous about anything. If you start slow, you can, but if you are consistent, you can do pretty well in the next year's CAT. But again, like I want to mention it back, if you are registered for CAT 2025, focus only on CAT 2025. I want you to make the best use of this remaining 30 days and try to improve yourself. But say you are somebody in the third year of CAT, in the third year of engineering, and you have some more time to prepare, then you can definitely check out this CAT 2026 course. If you are looking to enroll, you can just Google search Cracku CAT 2026 course, or if you need any details about this course, you can just Google search this Cracku CAT 2026. You can go to the course page and you can take a call. Let us look at the next slide. Again, a good question. Not very difficult, not very easy. Everyone stock market is saying, sir, I searched for Cracku CAT revision videos, but I'm unable to find the playlist. Okay, I'll ask my team to put the chat in the chat the playlist videos. You search on YouTube. You search on YouTube. If you're looking for the revision videos, search on YouTube. I'll ask my team to put it on the chat, but if somebody else is watching the stream later and they're looking for the playlist, on YouTube, you just search for Cracku CAT Revision videos. You search this on YouTube, I'm sure you'll get that playlist. That playlist will have 4 videos and it will be very useful for you. I think Bulan is saying, sir, after giving 6 marks, still I get tired when I come to quants. Any tips to not get worked up till I come to quants? I think you have to pace yourself. One of the things that I notice myself is my concentration levels decrease if I'm using my phone quite a lot. So if you want to increase your concentration, which I think is definitely possible in the next 1 month, just cut on your phone, man. Take your phone, buy a non-smartphone so that you get bored also. Sometimes you should not be like on your reels or anything. Just take off your phone completely. Buy a normal Nokia phone or some phone, non-smartphone for any everyday use, and you will see your concentration levels improve. So your mental stamina also will definitely improve by the day of the examination, which is still more than 1 month away. Now the way you have to look at it is, suppose after 2 sections, that is after say 80 minutes, you are feeling tired now. You leave your smartphone and you can maintain that concentration for say 90 minutes. That 10 extra minutes is also totally worth it, right? So I would say that is one low hanging fruit which I would recommend everybody to do. If you want to improve your concentration levels, just leave your phone, your smartphone for a month. Other than that, I would say if you are physically fit, I think your mental stamina also will improve. That is another thing that I would recommend you to do. Finally, I would say just take more mocks and take the mocks also seriously and try to ensure that you are able to improve. This also I think is just getting more and more practice. Okay, the time is up. Let us try to solve this question. The speed of a stone dropped from the sky is 10 into integer of t meter per second after t seconds, when integer this is the greatest integer smaller than x. Find the distance it travels for the last 3 seconds before hitting the ground if it is dropped from a height of 360 meters. So what is the speed from 0 to 1 seconds? The speed is 0 and therefore the distance traveled, total distance traveled also is 0. Between 1 to 2 seconds, the speed is 1 meter per second. And therefore, because the speed is 10 times integer of it, the integer part is 1. So the total distance it traveled is 10 meters. Between 2 to 3, the integer part is 2. So the total distance it traveled is 20 in this 1 second. In the earlier second it traveled 10. In this 1 second it traveled 20. So the total distance it traveled is 30 meters. Between 3 to 4, the integer part is 3. So the total distance it traveled is 30 in this 1 second. So overall the total distance it traveled is 30 plus 30, which is 60. Between 4 to 5, the integer part is 4. Therefore the distance it traveled is 40, because its speed is 40 meter per second. In this 1 second it would travel 40, and therefore the total distance it traveled till now is 100 meters, which is 60 plus 40. Between 5 to 6, the integer part is 5. The speed will be 50 meter per second. So in this 1 second, it will travel 50 meters. It has already traveled 100 meters. So the total distance it traveled after this is 150 meters. Next, between 6 and 7 seconds, the integer part is 6, speed is 60 meter per second, distance traveled is 60, therefore the total distance it would travel by now is 150 plus 60, which is 210. Between 7 to 8, the integer part is 7, speed is 70 meter per second, total distance it would travel is 280 meters, which is 210 plus 70. Finally, between 8 to 9 seconds, its speed is 8 meter per second. So in that, the integer part is 8. Therefore, the speed is 80 meter per second. This would imply that in that 1 second it traveled 80 meters. So the total distance it traveled is 280 plus 80, which is 360 meters. So in the last 3 seconds, the total distance it traveled is 60 plus 70 plus 80, which is 210 meters, which is option C. Let me give a shout out to everybody who got this correct. Aryan, Ayush, Riya, Hemant, Yash, Vikas Chaudhary, Ansh, Vishwanath, Krish, Yasir, Sankalp, Abhishek, Riya, Mahesh, Sonima, Sanjana and Yash. We have 286 likes, guys. We need just another 64 more likes. Please do like the stream, man. If you have just joined us, please do like it so that we can get to 350 likes before the stream ends. Mayank Kumar is saying, sir, I scored 14 marks in today's mock. But in the last 3 mocks, I've been scoring in the range of 40 to 55 marks. I'm really demotivated after seeing today's marks. See, marks will keep going up and down, man. Don't worry about one particular mock. That can be a multitude of factors. No, the mock might be difficult. You might not have been serious. You might have underperformed. You might have been unlucky in certain aspects. So don't worry about one particular data point. It won't matter. What is important is the trend. How are you doing in the last 5 mocks? That I think is more important than one particular mock. And being able to motivate yourself is also a superpower. You should be able to motivate yourself because the world is tough, unfortunately. And nobody else is going to motivate you. You have to figure out how to motivate yourself. That I think is very important. That is also a very important quality in managers. Because if you're a manager and if say you have 4 or 5 people reporting to you, they will look up to you. No, you can't be demotivated. If a manager is demotivated, the entire team will be extremely demotivated. And you can't expect your employees or your mentees or whoever you are actually managing to actually motivate you. The motivation has to come from the top. So, but for that to happen, you should know how to motivate yourself first. So I would say all of you who are aspiring to be managers, the first important thing is you should know how to motivate yourself, which I think is a very important quality. So try to introspect, try to figure out what went wrong, try to be more optimistic and positive, try to tell yourself that you will do better next time. Don't let things demotivate you. Okay, in this question we are told that there are 3 people A, B and C. They are starting to run simultaneously in a circular track of length 2400 meters. So this is the circular track. This is where the 3 guys A, B and C are running. Their speeds are 8 meter per second, 10 meter per second and 12 meter per second in the same direction. What is the minimum time after which they meet at the starting point? So what is the time A takes to finish one rotation around the center? The circumference is 2400. Speed of A is 8 meter per second. So A will take 300 seconds. After 300 seconds, A will be at the starting point. How much time will B take to finish one rotation? Again, the circumference is 2400 meters. B speed is 10 meter per second. So B will be at the starting point after 240 seconds. C, the speed of C is 12 meter per second. So after 2400 divided by 12, which is 200 seconds, C will be at the starting point. So what is the first time? All three of them will be at the starting point. That will be the LCM of 300, 240 and 200, which is equal to 1200 seconds, which is equal to 20 minutes. Now if you did not understand why I took LCM, what I'm basically saying is that A is at the starting point after 300 seconds. So he is at the starting point after 300 seconds, after 600 seconds, after 900 seconds, after every multiple of 300, A will be at the starting point, and so on. This is A's time at the starting point. B similarly will be at the starting point after every multiple of 240. So B will be at the start after 240, 480, 720, 960, 1200, 1440 and so on. C will be at the starting point after every multiple of 200 seconds. So C will be at the starting point after 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400 and so on. Now all three of them will be at the starting point when the number is a common multiple of each of this list, this list, this list and this list. What is the least common such multiple? The smallest number which is part of all the three lists is 1200. Therefore, all three of them will be at the starting point simultaneously after 1200 seconds, which is 20 minutes, which is option C. Let me give a shout out to everybody who got it correct before going to the next question. आयुष, आर्यन, अक्षत, हेमंत, रिया, सुरेंद्र, कृष, आकृति, सुजाता, लिखित, विकास, संकल्प, यश दर्जी, निहारिका, वर्षा, सोनिमा, आत्रेय, sorry, Yasir, Ansh and Akoja, Venkat Sai Kiran. Let us look at the next question, guys. Interesting question, this I would say. We have 292 likes, man. We need 292 people have liked this stream. We need 58 more likes. This is less than 1/6 is left. We have done more than 5/6 of the work. So please do like this stream, guys. Okay. Renu, Sonu and Monu can run around a regular rectangular track in 20 seconds, 40 seconds and 80 seconds respectively. The length of the track is twice the breadth of the track and the area of the track is 400 square meters. If they start running at the same time, at what point will they meet for the first time? Okay. So this is the circular track. Now there is more information that is given than needed. For example, we don't need to know that the length is twice the breadth. It doesn't matter. We don't need to know the length of the track or the area of the track. All of this is not needed. The only information that is needed is that they finish one rotation in 20 seconds, 40 seconds and 80 seconds. So we have Renu who finishes one rotation in 20 seconds. We have Sonu who will finish one rotation in 40 seconds. And we have Monu who will finish one rotation in 80 seconds. So what is the time at which they all meet? The least common multiple of these three is basically when all of them will finish one rotation. That will be 80 seconds. Which is equal to 80 seconds. So where exactly will they be after 80 seconds? All of them will be at the starting point. For example, Renu would complete the one rotation after 20 seconds. She will be at the starting point after 40. She will be next at 60 and finally at 80. Similarly, Sonu will complete one rotation at 40 and 80. Monu would complete one rotation after every 80. So this would basically tell us that the point at which they would meet will be after 80 seconds, and after 80 seconds all of them will be at the starting point. So the answer for this question is option A. Another way to look at it is basically trying to figure out where two people will meet. If you're looking at Renu and Sonu or Renu and Mono, you try to figure out where they actually meet for the first time. And based on it also you can actually calculate. But all three of them would meet only at the starting point for the first time, which is option A. Before I continue, let me give a shout out to everybody who got this correct. Hemant, Aryan, Krish, Riya, Devesh, Ansh, Vikas Chaudhary, Abhishek, Vaishnavi, Sankalp, Akoja Venkat Sai Kiran, Akriti, Kishiti, Yash, Atreyi, Sanjana, Aditya. All these guys got it correct? Okay, one second. Also an interesting question. Slightly lengthy, which has some calculations, but okay. How many questions are there today? There are many questions, man. It will go on for around 4 hours. It will be there till 6 p.m. Try to solve now. It is good for you. The exam is just less than 1 hour. Deep Solanki is saying how to ignore unnecessary information given in the question. You have to basically look for what is the information that is needed. Instead of trying to figure out whether the information is unnecessary or not, just try to see what is the information that is needed to solve it. We got 305 likes, so we need another 45 more likes. Okay. So in this race course, we are told that it is 400 meters long. A and B run a race and A wins by 5 meters. What does this mean? By the time A finishes 400 meters, B finishes 395 meters. So this is the ratio of the speed of A and B. Similarly, B and C run over the same course and B wins by 4 meters. So the ratio of the speed of B to the ratio of the speed of C is basically 400 divided by 396, because in the same time that B is running 400 meters, C is running 396 meters. Now C and D also run, but this time D wins. So the ratio of the speed of C to the ratio of the speed of D is 384 divided by 400, because by the time D runs 400 meters, C runs only 384 meters, because D is winning the race by 16. Now, if you multiply this one and this one, on the left hand side, what will happen? S by A into S by B into S by B into S by C into S by C into S by D will basically give us S by A divided by S by D. Because S by B in the denominator and S by B in the numerator gets cancelled. S by C in the denominator, S by C in the numerator gets cancelled. The only thing which will be left is SA in the numerator and SD in the denominator. But what will happen to the right hand side? That will be 400 divided by 395 into 400 divided by 396 into 384 divided by 400. You can cancel 400 and 400 divided by 395 is 100 divided by 99. And 100 divided by 396, both of them can be, sorry, this is not 100 divided by 99, this is 400 divided by 395, this is just a calculation intensive one. 400 divided by 396 is 100 divided by 99. Now 100 divided by 395, you are dividing both of them with 5, this is 20 and this is 79. Let me know if I'm making a mistake. Now it is just a lot of calculation. So this is basically 384 into 20. You can, I think, divide this with 3. This is 128 and this will be 33. What is 128 into 20? I hope I'm right. No, is it 128? I think it is 128. So this is 2560 divided by 79 into 33. For these kind of things, I would just use the calculator. I don't have it right now, so I'll just try to figure it out. What is 80 into 33? 33 into 8 is, I think, 2640. This is 33 into 80. From this, you subtract 33. So this is 2607. So this will be 2560 divided by 2607. I hope I'm right. This is the ratio of the speed of A divided by D. So now if you want to figure out what is the distance that A would have run by the time D would have run 400 meters, it would be 2560 divided by 2607 into 400. This is basically the distance that A would run by the time D would have run 400 meters, because we have the ratio of their speeds. You can just use a calculator to calculate it. I think you'll get it something close to, I think, 393 meters or something like that. So the answer for this is, I think, D will win and he will win by, I think, 7.2 meters, something like this. Let me see who got this correct. This is a calculation intensive question. Let me give a shout out to everybody who got this correct. I am Aryan, Riya, Vikas Chaudhary, Krish, Aman Anand, Devesh, Sanjana, Ansh, Vishal Datta, Sankalp, Sidhu, Sai Kiran, Sonima, Abhishek and the Asher. Okay, this is an easy question. Let us try to solve it. We have 308 likes. Just 42 more likes needed. Please do like this stream, guys. These likes are super important for the video to get reach. So please do like it. This is a small thing that you can do for all of us. Sir, can you please suggest strategy for VRC, sir? If I attempt 2 RC and all VA or 4 RCs no VA, I always get marks in the range of 16 to 20. I want to reach 35 to 40. What can I do now, sir? See, I tell in so many of my streams, man. I just feel that not attempting all the questions in VRC is not a good strategy. So if you're telling me you're attempting only 2 RCs, that is just such a bad strategy. Even if your accuracy goes down, it is okay. But you have to attempt all the questions. Because otherwise it is very difficult to score 35-40 in VRC if you're just not attempting 2 RCs. Because every RC is 4 questions, that is 12 marks. If you're not attempting 24 marks, you're only attempting 48 marks out of 72. And out of 48, getting 40 marks is very difficult, no? So that is just not a good strategy. What I would tell you is read quickly and mark quickly and go ahead. Even if you feel not very sure. Nobody is very sure in VRC. Even when I'm attempting, I feel this might be the answer. I won't know for certain. For example, in Quant, it is the other way around. You know that this is the answer. In LRDA, if you solve the set, you know that is the answer. In VRC, you will never feel that, okay, this is the answer, I know it. So don't waste too much time on being indecisive. You have to mark quickly and go. Okay, let us look at a train crosses a bridge of length 200 meters in 10 seconds. So what is the length of the bridge? It is 200 meters. So let us assume that the length of the train is LT. It crosses a bridge of 200 meters plus 200 divided by the speed of the train. We don't know the speed of the train. Let us assume that it is ST. This is 10 seconds. We are also told that if the speed increases by 20%, if the speed increases by 20%, the speed of the train becomes 1.2 st. It can cross a pole in 5 seconds. So the length of the train divided by the new speed of the train. The new speed of the train is 1.2 st is equal to 5 seconds. What is the length of the train? We are required to calculate LT. So LT plus 200 is equal to 10 st. In this, LT is equal to 6 st. So basically what we are going to get is that if you subtract one from the other, 4 st is equal to 200, or st, which is the speed of the train, is 50 meters per second. So what is the length of the train? It is 6 times st, which is equal to 300 meters. So let me give a shout out to everybody who got this correct. The correct answer for this question is option B, which is 300 meters. And everybody who got this correct, this is an easy question. Many people would have gotten it correct. is Vishal Datta, Aryan, Vansh, Himansh, Sonima, Vikas Chaudhary, Vaishnavi, Surender, Sankal, Krish Jain, Riya, Devesh Vijay, Akoja Venkat Sai Kiran, Atre Dasgupta, Sidhu, Yash, Sanjana, Kavin Raja, Sumit, Abhishek, Shreyas, Chatur, Sid, and Shubham. Let us look at the next question. One more thing I wanted to tell you is we have also launched PDFs. These are very useful PDFs. This is also one thing I would tell you to do in the last 1 month before CAT. Especially if you understand what I'm saying, you should be good at certain important topics, arithmetic, algebra, geometry. But in all the other topics, you should solve at least an easy question. A very easy question from any topic you should be able to solve. And what is the best way in which you can get that low hanging fruit? You can get all of it if you know all the formulas. If you think about it, what is the number of formulas that are there in CAT? If you know 150 or 200 formulas, there is no other formula that is really given in CAT. That is a very finite set. You just download this PDF, Cracku formula PDFs. Again, just Google search Cracku formula PDF. You will be redirected to this page. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but the number of people who downloaded it, this is basically a slightly old number. When we took the screenshot maybe a couple of months back, this is 1.2 lakhs. That is the number of people who actually came to this site, and we know the number of people who downloaded this PDF. It is in tens of thousands. Every important formula is given in this particular PDF. I would say download this PDF. If you have the Cracku formula book, that is even better. Keep that book beside your bed and go through like say 5-6 pages before you actually sleep. It is a very simple book that you can read. It's also a very thin book because the number of formulas that are needed for CAT also is minimal. Ensure that you know all the formulas and how to apply them. Because if a very simple question comes, which is direct application of one of these formulas, you will get it correct. If you think about it, if you know these 150 formulas, and if a very simple question comes from say number systems or from logarithms, you know the formula, you will apply it. That is why I would tell you to download these PDFs. Just Google search Cracku formula PDFs. You will get that page. You can download the PDF completely for free. Similarly, if you are looking for any other study material, you can just Google search Cracku study material. Here we have given the link of all the free study material that is available on Cracku. This is where I was talking about this formula PDF. Here you have the link for the formula PDF. If you click on it, you'll go to the other one. But even the previous year's papers, this is basically just a good table of all the useful stuff that Cracku is giving. Just Google search Cracku study material if you're interested in it. Let us go to the next question. Everyone stock market said if A wins against B, B wins against C, that is fine. But C lost to D by a big margin. So A would beat B, that is given. B would beat C. Therefore, A would definitely beat C. That is not a question. But if you see that C lost to D and C lost to D very badly. So D actually is the fastest runner. He was able to beat C by a big margin. A also would have beaten C but by a smaller margin. Therefore, if it is between A and D, D would win. We have 316 likes. We just need 34 more likes. This is an easy question, Ansh, I know. There were some questions in the middle which are tough, but this is an easy question. Basically, there is one more thing, okay. I want to cater to everybody. If I'm only catering to 99 percentile, that is not good, no? There should be questions which are easy, there should be questions which are medium, and there should be questions which are hard. And I think in this stream, there were some questions in the middle which were definitely catering to the 99 percentile guys. This I would say is definitely a pretty easy question. Okay, in this question, there are two cities, Ahmedabad and Surat. They are 250 kilometers apart. Ahmedabad and Surat, they are 250 kilometers apart. One day, Ambika starts traveling from Ahmedabad to Surat at 9 a.m. So let us assume that this is Ahmedabad. This is where IMA is. Let us give a star for that. And we have Surat. Now, Ambika starts from here at 9 a.m. And she is going at 50 kilometers per hour. One hour later, Bhanu starts from Surat to travel to Ahmedabad. So Bhanu will start at 10 a.m. So at 10 a.m., where is Ambika? Ambika would be somewhere over here. The distance that she would have covered is 50 kilometers, which is her speed. This is 10 a.m. So what is the distance that is remaining between these two? The distance, because they are 250 kilometers apart, Ambika already traveled 200 kilometers. This distance is 200 kilometers at 10 a.m. Now they meet at 12 noon. So they meet at some point over here. At 12 noon, what is the speed of Bhanu? Ambika will continue to travel at 50 kilometers per hour. If the speed of Bhanu is say B, what is the relative speed? One of them is coming at 50, another one is coming at B. So the relative speed is 50 plus B and the distance between them is 200 kilometers. The time it takes for them to meet is they meet at 12 noon and we know that they were 200 kilometers apart at 10 a.m. So this will be 2 hours or 50 plus B is equal to 100 or the value of B is 50 kilometers per hour. Let me give a shout out to everybody who got this correct before going to the next question. So many people got this correct. Akoja, Sai Kiran, Krish Jain, Vishwanath, Vansh, Yash, Kavin Raja, Vishal Datta, Sankalp, Ayush, Sonima, Devesh, Kishore and Aman Anand. This is the next question.
Okay guys, we'll start with some ratio and proportion. Good afternoon to everyone. I hope you guys are ready to solve some ratio and proportion questions. Good afternoon everyone. Okay. This is an easy question. Come on guys, I want all of you to solve this one. Good afternoon Supraja, Vikas, Aryan, Vansh. Good afternoon. Vansh is already late. So many guys are quick off the mark. Nikita, I am good to see all of you guys. Good afternoon and try to solve this one. It's an easy question. I'll give 30 more seconds. Easy question. Okay. Many of you have gotten it. Very easy question, or what do you think? The guys who are still trying to solve it. Go ahead and solve it. It's a pretty simple, straightforward question, but question setters like this can also come. If it's an easier CAT, like say CAT 2024, these kind of easy questions will also come. And the objective should be that you should solve this as fast as possible. Okay. I think most of you have gotten the answer. So let's see how to solve this one. The ratios of salaries of A, B, C and D are given as A is to B is 1 is to 2, B is to C is 4 is to 3, C is to D is 6 is to 4. So when we have to combine ratios like this, how should we combine? We should combine such that the multiplier, whatever is the common ratio, that value should be equal. It is 2 here, it is 4 here. So then we can't combine. So that means that we should write, instead of writing this 1 is to 2, we should write the first ratio as 2 is to 4. And then this is 4 is to 3. So then we can combine both of them and write it as 2 is to 4 is to 3 for A is to B is to C. How do we do that? We make sure that the B value, here B value is on the right hand side and it's on the left hand side, that value has to be equal. for us to have 4 over here, I'm just multiplying both ratios, numerator, denominator by 2. So 1:2 can be written as 2:4. So if it is 2:4, 4:3, I can combine it as 2, 4, 3. Now I'll also have to combine C and D, which is 6:4. And the common area, common part is C. Here C is 3, here C is 6. Again the same thing, I need C to be of the same value, then I can combine the ratios. So if I want to combine this ratio to form A is to B is to C, I have to multiply this first ratio by 2. So I'll get 4 is to 8 is to 6 and 6 is to 4. Now I can combine it together and then I can say this is to 4. So A is to B is to C is to D is 4 is to 8 is to 4 is 4 is to 8 is to 6 is to 4. So A and D, if I just say what is A is to D, it will be basically 4 is to 4. So A is to D is how much? 4 is to 4, or 4 is to 4 can be written as 1 is to 1 if you cancel off the common multiplier of 4. So if A is to D, salaries are in the ratio 1 is to 1 and their expenses are also ratio 1 is to 1. Then what is the ratio of their savings? See, salary minus expenses. So whatever are your expenses, this is equal to savings. Suppose the multiplier of this particular ratio for salaries is say X and for the expenses is say Y. So savings for A will be X minus Y. Similarly for D also will be X minus Y. So then what would be the ratio? A is to D is X minus Y is to Y X minus Y. That is 1 is to 1. But essentially always remember, if the salary is 1 is to 1 ratio, the expenses are 1 is to 1, then the savings by default will also be 1 is to 1 because you are essentially spending in the same proportion throughout. So if your overall ratio is 1 is to 1, a part of it is 1 is to 1, then the remaining part of it will also be 1 is to 1. So what ratio is the ratio of the savings? Ratio of the savings is 1 is to 1. Easy question to start off with, but a very conceptual one, how to combine ratios. I hope it is clear to anyone who didn't know before. Okay, let's take a look at a slightly tougher question. Here you have to combine multiple things to find the answer. I am giving you 2.5 minutes for it. Try to solve this one. VRC marathon next Sunday. Okay, I'll try to do that. We have VRC marathon which is pending, LIDR marathon which is pending. So we'll try to do them. I'll try to do it next weekend. SG is asking, ma'am, how to increase solving speed. I'll tell you the quick one important thing that you should know. You should know a certain amount of how to do some amount of quick solving. So mental maths, you should know the tables, you should know the products till like 2-digit multiplication up to 20 very quickly. You should know all the squares very quickly. You should also be able to like say calculate percentages like 25%, 20%, all of that fairly quickly. Another thing is while you're comparing ratios, you should be able to do that fast. And those things, basic things, if you're able to do fast, right, then you won't need the calculator as much. And if you don't need the calculator as much, your calculation speed will increase. If your calculation speed increases, your solving speed will also increase. But to increase the general solving speed, you have to like practice a lot of questions. If when you're practicing a lot of questions, if you're generally like feeling like tired, you don't want to practice any more questions, do a little bit of speed maths also on the side, because that speed maths will also help you increase the calculation speed. Okay, some guys are saying 41, some guys are saying 43, 42 is also there. So somewhere between 41, 42, 43. Okay, guys. Okay, time is up. So the guys with 43 are correct. I'm guessing some small mistake was made somewhere, which is why you guys made the mistake over here. But let's see how to solve this one. Sita earns 25% less than Ram. So let's say that Ram earns, so we'll write over here, we'll draw a table. Whenever that kind of expenses, earnings, etc. given, I generally prefer to tabulate it. So there's Sita, there's Ram. Then let's consider with salaries. Okay. So Sita earns 25% less than Ram. If I take 100 for Ram, I'll get 75 for Sita, which I don't want because I want a round number. And if I take like a percentage of that, again it will become messy. So I'll take say 200 for Ram, 200x, and 25% lesser will be 50x. So it will be 150x for Sita. So Sita earns 25% less than Ram. 75% of Sita's and 80% of Ram's expenses go towards household expenses. So basically this is household expenses. There are expenses over here and then there will be savings. Okay. Whatever are the expenses, say A and B, or say 100A or some A and B, 75% of her 75% of A, so 0.75A is Sita's household expense and 0.8B is Ram's household expense. If their total household expense amounts to 50% of their total income, so this is 350x, this is 175x then, because this sum is 50% of their total income. And it is known that the individual savings of Sita and Ram are in the ratio of 2:3. So this 150x minus A and 200x minus B, this is in the ratio of 2:3. How much does Sita contribute to the household expenses as a percentage of the total household expense budget? So let's try to solve this. So we have to essentially find out A and B in terms of X. Once we have that, we can then find out how much is 0.75A and then take the share 0.75A is to 175x and find the ratio as such. So we know that 150x minus A upon 200x minus B, this is equal to how much? This is 2:3. So I can write this as 450x minus 3A is equal to 400x minus 2B. So I get that 3A minus 2B is equal to 50x. What else can I say? I have this equation also over here, which is 0.75A, 0.8B. This is equal to 175x. So I can say this is, I'll take a multiple of it. I'll multiply it by 4. I'll multiply it by 20. Because if I multiply it by 20, I'll remove the decimal part. So if I multiply this by 20, this will become 2 times is 1.5, so 15A. So this is 15A minus 16B is equal to how much? This will be multiplied by this. So this is 500 plus 75 times this, 350 plus 25, 375, 875x. So let me try to like reduce or remove one of the variables so I can express like say either A or B in terms of just X. So if I get A in terms of X or B in terms of X, I'm done, because that is basically what I want. I want A in terms of X, then I can get the ratio. So I multiply this. If I multiply this by 8, I get 24A minus 16B is equal to how much? This is equal to 400x. Did I make some mistake over here somewhere? I did this 450 minus 3A, 200 minus 2B. This is 15. Oh, I have to multiply this by 20. Sorry, I had to multiply it by 20. So 2 times is 350, 700, 7000x. Okay. So this is 7000x and this would be how much? 24. I am multiplying this by 8. So this is, no wait, what did I do? 20, 2 times is 1.6, 16b. 15a into minus plus 16b is equal to 7000x, right? 350, 3500x. Sorry about that. I made a mistake in the multiplication. And this would be how much? This is multiply this by 8. So I get this is 400x. So I get how much? I get this, if I add up, I get 39a is equal to 3900x. So I get a is equal to how much? A is equal to 100x. If a is equal to 100x, how much is Sita's household expense? I'll remove a. A will be how much? A will be, okay, I'll remove a. So 75a will be basically 75 into 100x. So 0.75 of this is basically 75x. So what is Sita's household expense? How much does Sita contribute to the household expense as a percentage of the total household expenses? She contributes 75x out of 175x. So the required percentage is 75x divided by 175x into 100%. This cancels with this. This is 3 times, this is 7 times. 300 by 7. This should be roughly 42 point some percent. But when you are rounding up to the nearest integer, it becomes 43%. You have to round it to the nearest integer. I think many of you might have made a mistake over here where you got 42 point something, which is 42.8 I think, and you rounded it down instead of rounding it up to 43. Whenever you are told nearest integer, right, you have to see if it is 42.5 plus, it becomes 43. Otherwise, it goes down to 41. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next question. This is a fun question. I think I won't say this is an easy question, but it's not a difficult question also. If you get the logic, you can solve it very quickly. If you don't get the logic, it will take a lot of time to solve. So draw it out, then you will get it right. Yeah, I got slightly confused with the equation because generally I hate it when it becomes 0.8 and 0.7 because then you are likely to make mistakes when you're multiplying with things. That was the only reason. But generally, if you take a nice enough number, right, you won't end up in that situation and then you are less likely to make mistakes. Okay, guys, focus on this one. This is a conceptual question. 246 by backward approach. Good one, Vansh. You are doing it very fast. 246 by Sanjana, 246 Vikas, Aryan. Okay. Now, a lot of people who are still answering, there is still 47 seconds. Try to answer this by yourself. All independent solving has a lot of value. So I want you guys to get the answer. Come on, guys. I want more of you to solve. Come on, you can do this. This is not difficult. How to do backward approach? Don't worry, Govardhan. I'll solve it out for you. So you need not worry. Okay. So the time is up. Good work, Vansh. You were very fast. Very good job. Sanjana, excellent. Vikas, Aryan, Riya, The King, Devesh, Sriram, Ayam, Sonima, Yash, Excellent work, all of you. Keep solving like this. So what is the backward approach? The whole idea of the backward approach is that, see, if I start by saying that, okay, let him have X number of candies, and then I go through each of the approaches one after the other, it becomes slightly messy because there are multiple things that he is doing. Instead of starting from forward to down, you start from the end result and work backward. That generally is faster. So let's take a look at this question. Mr. Ahuja bought a certain number of candies from the local supermarket. He wants to distribute these candies among his 3 grandsons and 3 granddaughters. He also ate some candies. He ate 1 candy and gives 1/5 of the remaining to his first grandson. So here he's going to eat 1 candy and he's going to give 1/5 of the remaining to his first grandson. Then what is he going to do? Out of the remaining candies, he ate 1 candy and gave 1/5 of the remaining to his second grandson. And he does the same with the third grandson. Again, he eats 1 and he gives 1/5 of the remaining to his third grandson. He then distributes the remaining candies among his 3 granddaughters in the ratio 23:46:55. The number of candies that Mr. Ahuja bought cannot be less than. So here we are finding, if I am asking you, cannot be less than. What am I telling you exactly? I am telling you that this is the minimum. What is the minimum number of candies that he needs to buy? So if I am trying to figure out what is the minimum number, I'll start with the minimum possible number. Over here, this ratio of division is given. If I want to minimize the ratio, if I want to minimize the number of candies, I will say that let the constant of multiplier be 1. If the constant of the multiplier is say 2, 3 or any other number, the number of candies will just increase. But if I want to make it the minimum possible, I'll say that each one gets, the multiplier is 1. So 1 granddaughter gets 23, 1 granddaughter gets 46 and the remaining granddaughter, third granddaughter, gets 55. So how much did the granddaughters get? How much is this? This is 69 plus 55. So this is 124. So they get a total of 124 candies. Okay. Now let us see, okay, if this is 69, this is 124 candies. What exactly was the remaining candies as such? So 4/5 of whatever was remaining after giving, eating one after the second grandson, 1/5 went to the third grandson and 4/5 went to these granddaughters as such. So this 4/5 of whatever was remaining is this 124. So 4 times x is 124 and x is what went to the third grandson. That means how much did the third grandson get? If 4 times x is 124, x is equal to how much? This is equal to 31. So the third grandson got 31 chocolates. He got 31 chocolates. The granddaughters got how much? They got 124 chocolates and then this 1 chocolate that he ate. So how much is this total? This total becomes, this is 55, 155 plus 1, this becomes 156. This is 156. But what is this 156? This 156 is basically the 4/5 remaining after giving 1/5 to the second grandson. So this is say 1/5 goes to the second grandson and 4/5 is this 156 that remains. So let's say that 4 times y goes to the second grandson and 4 times y is the remaining value which is 156. So how much is y? Y will be equal to 156 by 4. So this is equal to 39. So that means that the second grandson gets how much? He gets 39 chocolates. So that means this 156 plus 39 plus 1. This is basically how much together? This is equal to 196. So I am working backwards. I am working from, instead of starting from the top and going downwards, I am working my way backwards. So this becomes 196. If this is 196, what is this 196? After you give 1/5 to the first grandson, the remaining 4/5 is this 196. So let's say that the first grandson gets say Z. Z goes to the first grandson. That means 4 times Z is equal to 196. So this becomes, Z becomes how much? Z is equal to 49. So this means that the first grandson This 1/5 that the first grandson gets is how much? This is 49. So how much was the total amount? That is this 196 plus 49 plus 1. So 196 plus 50, you start with 246. So you start with 246 and then you distribute it like this. This is basically the backward approach. The forward approach is that you start with x and say that, okay, of x I eat 1. So I'm left with x minus 1 and then I give x minus 1 by 5 to my first grandson and 4 times 4 by 5th of x minus 1 to the next order. But when you do that, what happens is that you will have firstly crazy number of fractions. You will just basically be dividing x minus 1, x minus 2, minus 1, minus 2, 4 by 5, 1/5 of this. It will be very, very messy if you go forward. But if I go back up from the bottom up, it is super easy. So this is basically how I find that the answer is 246. And whenever you are doing this distribution, right, remember if you go from the start to the end, it becomes very messy. But instead, if you go from the end to the start, it is very easy to do. Okay, anybody has any question? How did this come about? I did this forward too and got this. Yeah, because the fractions will, you will get very badly stuck with fractions. So always it is much more efficient to go from the last part to the first part. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Okay, try to solve this question. Guys, just a quick reminder for those who are just joining our stream, please like the stream. Okay, I see we have 332 likes. I would love to hit 350 likes. So guys who have not liked the stream, please like the stream. Okay, Maam, algebra nahi ho raha. I would say once take the easier parts of algebra. Start with quadratic equations. It is very formula driven. Be very, very comfortable with quadratic equations. Forget like what a lot of people say is that, okay, I'll start like with inequalities or with the harder parts, polynomial equations. Why do that? Start with linear equations, quadratic equations. Be very, very comfortable with them. Take 2-3 days and solve like 200 questions from these two topics. If you're good at quadratic equations, then go to logarithms. First, before you go to the inequalities, etc., first go to logarithms. Do logarithms well. So a big chunk of algebra will suddenly open up for you. Because quadratic base, simple quadratic questions come, quadratic with logarithms come. So because both of these come quite a lot in algebra, suddenly you will be able to do like 40% of algebra. Then you add inequalities also to it, suddenly you will be able to do even 100% of algebra. But first do quadratic well, do quadratic and linear well, then with quadratic add logarithms, and then most of algebra will be open up for you. Okay, none of these, okay. Okay, why can't candies be given to all daughters be 0? No, that cannot be, because if it is 0, right, you can't say it is expressed as 23:46. Then you will say that if you got 0, 0, 0, a ratio is non-negative, okay? A ratio is never, especially of items distributed, is always non-zero. You cannot have divide by 0 as such, okay? A lot of people are saying D. The first person who got the answer was Aryan. Very well done, Aryan. Excellent work. Sanjana also very well done. Vansh next. Aryan, excellent work. Riya, Deep. Okay, no. Vikas, Ansh, Sonama, Devesh, Yash, Vadhana, Mahesh Koje, Sumit, Sankalp. Excellent work, a lot of you. Hero, try again. You are close. You might get the answer. Okay. I'm trying to do it with set theory but failed. Okay. No, I'll tell you how to do it. Okay. Okay, with set theory. Okay. With a lot of people, whenever they see 3 sets, right, like this, what they will do is they will do this 3 Venn diagram. And then they will try to say, okay, how much is the overlap? How much is physics, chemistry, maths? How much is the overlap? But remember, when should you draw what? What should be drawn? See, if you are given information where you are given, okay, if this the information is of the type, this is physics, chemistry, maths. If the information is of the type physics but not maths, or maths but not chemistry, then those set specific information is given. Draw the Venn diagram. But if you are given information like this, exactly 2, exactly 3, exactly 1, then you should not even bother with the set diagram. The set Venn diagram is when you want to distribute it into subparts, when you want to find out the overlap between the two sets. Here you don't want to find out the overlap between the two sets. You want to find out the number of people who are part of exactly one set, exactly 2 sets, exactly 3 sets, and exactly 4 sets. Here the method is different. So whenever you have information like this, what you should say is, see here you are given 300 students appeared in an exam which comprises of 3 subjects, physics, chemistry, maths. 24 students failed in all 3 subjects, whereas a total of 120 students failed in exactly one subject. So let's say, okay, N, S, D, T. What does this stand for? N is failed in 0 subjects. S is failed 1 subject. D is failed exactly 2 subjects. T is failed all 3 subjects. This is what you should do. This is in set theory also. Whenever you are given a set theory, maximum, minimum question also, whenever you are given information about exactly 2, exactly 3, don't bother to go with the Venn diagram. The Venn diagram is of no use there. Here, this is what is of use over here. So you are given that 24 students failed in all 3 exams. So T is equal to how much? T is equal to 24. Whereas 120 students failed exactly one subject. So S is equal to 120. If the number of students who failed in at least 2 subjects is 78. So at least 2 subjects is exactly 2 subjects plus exactly 3 subjects. This is equal to how much? This is equal to 78. But T is equal to 24. So D is equal to 78 minus 24, which is 54. So 54 students failed in exactly 2 subjects. Now you are told, find out the percentage of students who either passed in all subjects or failed in exactly 2 subjects. So you have to find out the percentage who passed in all subjects. So that is failed in no subject plus or failed in exactly 2 subjects. N by D divided by a total of 300 students into 100%. This is what you have to find out. I have S, I have D, I have T. I don't have the value of N. But how do you find out the value of N? But the number of students, 300. This is equal to N plus S plus D plus T. Why? Because anybody who has taken the exam would either pass all subjects or fail in exactly 1 or fail in exactly 2 or fail in exactly 3 subjects. So therefore I can find out N because the remaining values are there. So N is equal to how much? N is 300 minus 120 minus this 54 minus 20 this 54 minus 24. So minus 78 you can take. So this is minus total of 198, which means that N is how much? This is equal to 102. So 102 is N. So how much is this required percentage? This is 102 plus 154. So this is basically 156 by 300 into 100%. This cancels off, this cancels off. So this is basically 156 by 3. 156 by 3 is how much? That is 52. So this is 52%. Very easy question, but you have to remember what to do when you have Venn diagrams. When you have to figure out the overlap. Part of 2 sets but not 3 sets. Part of these 2 sets but not this set. Then draw the Venn diagram. Don't bother with the Venn diagram when the information is of this format. Here they have not told you pass physics but not chemistry, but pass chemistry but not physics. When that kind of information is not there, Venn diagram is not needed. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Okay, one more thing for those who have not subscribed to Cracku's courses yet. We have a very a lot of discounts going on right now. Basically, this is the last sale, our big sale which is going on, because essentially now is the only time you can actually meaningfully prepare for CAT. So if you've been delaying starting your CAT preparation on joining Cracku, do check out our sale. It is there for another 55 hours. So do check it out. We have like up to 85% off. So let's go to the next question. This is a very easy question. I want all of you to solve. Come on, guys. Easy question. Everyone can solve. Why did we take n plus d? So either or, see, there is no overlap, right? Either you have passed all 3 subjects or you have failed exactly 2 subjects. So when you are saying that, okay, how many people have cleared all the 3 subjects? That is n. Then how many people have failed exactly 2 subjects? That is d. So either or over here, generally when I say A or B, okay, when I say A or B, in sets it refers to A union B. That is how many belong to either of these 2 sets. But because the 2 sets N and D have no overlap, it cannot happen that you have failed 2 subjects and passed all subjects. Because of that, the union of them is basically the addition of them. They are mutually exclusive sets. They have no overlap. So because of that, I can just add those 2 numbers together to get the value for A or B or N or D. I just add those 2 values because there is no overlap between them. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, a lot of people are getting the answer already. There are 30 seconds still left. So guys, come on, whoever has not answered, try to answer this. Okay, easy question. Many of you got it right. Very well done. Vansh, Aryan, Sanjana, Devesh, Vikas, Sarth, Yash, Sonama, and Yasir, Mahesh, the King, Ayam, Ayush, Akriti, Sumit, there is null. I think they put it by mistake because there is no 4th option essentially. Shubham, Vansh, Kashish, Rubal, Hirok, Vishwant, Priya, Yash Darji, Dviti, Priya. Very well done. Maam scored 80 in DC, 15, 29, 27, 24. How is it for now? These are my highest overall scores in DC 1 to DC 15. That's a good score. I feel that you have potential to do much better. I personally feel that you are a very talented student. So I would say that don't be satisfied with 80. Try to push further. I think that you can hit 90, 100 also. So push yourself further. I know you're already giving a lot of mocks, giving a lot of study room tests. Push yourself further. Try to get to 100 because I have a lot of faith in you. I know that you can do very, very well. Okay. So most of you have gotten it correct. This is an easy question. So let's see how to solve it. Preeti purchased 10 kg of Gulab Jamuns. She packed them in 2 boxes, A 4 kg and B 6 kg. She sold box A at a profit equal to the cost price of 3 kgs of Gulab Jamun and box B at a loss equal to the cost price of 2 kgs of Gulab Jamun. What was the ratio of the rates in rupees per kg at which she sold the Gulab Jamun in boxes A and B? So you have 2 boxes. I generally, like, whenever there is anything like this, no, I prefer to be very clean and I like to have like nice tables. So you have the selling price, you have the cost price. Okay, let the selling price or let the cost price of 1 kg of Gulab Jamun, let it be X. Okay, so here what is the cost price of A? Since it is 4 kgs, it will be 4x. Of B, since it is 6 kg, it will be 6x. Now she sold A at a profit equal to cost price of 3 kg Gulab Jamun. So that is, she sold it at a profit of 3x. So she sold A at a profit equal to 3 kg of Gulab Jamun, so she sold it at 7x. And box B at a loss equal to 2 kgs of Gulab Jamun, so she sold that at minus 2x, so she sold it at 4x. What is the ratio in rates at which she sold a Gulab Jamun in weight? Oh, okay, wait. She sold box A at a profit equal to the cost price of 3 kgs of Gulab Jamun. What is the ratio of the rates in rupees per kg? Sorry. So this is 7x, correct. So rupees per kg at which she sold the Gulab Jamuns in box A and box B. So this is 7x for 4 kg. This is 6x for 6 kg. So what is selling price in rupees per kg? Selling price per kg. This would be how much? This would be 7x by 4. This would be how much? This is 4x by 6. Right? So what is the required ratio for us? This would be how much? This would be, this is, what did I equal to? 9. Okay. So what is the ratio of A is to B? A is to B is 7x by 4 divided by 4x by 6. So this will be equal to how much? This is equal to x gets cancelled. Did I make some mistake over here? Guys, can you quickly tell me what is the mistake over? Purchase 10 kgs, 4 kgs, 6 kgs. She sold box of equal to cost price of 3 kgs of this. 6 by 4. Okay. No, 4 by 6 only, right? Selling price, the cost price is 6x. She sold it at a loss equal to cost price of this. So she sold it at 4x only, right? 16, how is, okay, maybe I'm making it wrong somewhere. Let me check. I didn't use this method while solving earlier, but I thought it would be easier to explain it this way. But I'll use my normal method of solving. This whole table thing has thrown me off. Okay. So you have packed them in 4 kgs and 6 kgs box. You sold box A at a profit equal to the cost price of 3 kgs of Gulab Jamun. So let's say that you have 4 kgs. 400 rupees is the cost of box A, 100 rupees per kg and 600 rupees for the cost of box B. Okay, and you sold it A at a profit equal to the cost price of 3 kg of Gulab Jamun. So here selling price is how much? This is 700. This is box B at a loss equal to 2 kgs of Gulab Jamun. So that is minus 200, so 400. How much is the ratio of rates in rupees per kg for which the Gulab Jamuns were sold in box A and box B? This is 700 by 4. This is 400 by 6. Where am I making a mistake over here? Okay. Okay. So we get 21 is to, we get 21 is to 8 only, no? I'm not making a mistake. I thought I was making a mistake for some reason. 700 by 4 divided by 400 by 6. Because for some reason I thought it was 21 by 16. And I was not getting 21 by 16, so I thought I was making a mistake. 7 into 6 divided by 4 into 4. This cancels 3, this is 2. So I get 21 by 8. So the correct answer is option B, 21 is to 8. So sorry about that, slightly got confused by the correct options. I'm not on my best this strike today. For some reason I'm getting messed up by this. Okay, no worries, let's go to the next question. Okay, so let's try to solve this question. Yeah, I was right in the first instant only, but I got confused as to why I'm not getting 21 is to 16. For some reason, I thought it is 21 is to 16. I think I misread the B is D for some reason, and then I thought it should be D, and then why I'm getting the wrong answer. Okay. So table method is better. Yeah, it was getting the right answer with the table method. I was not making a mistake. And it's an easy question also. So no worries. That things happen. Sometimes you freeze like many times over here, and that happens, but it's okay. Table method generally works for me. I always draw the tables because I feel that table is I get structure from it, where I won't make a mistake in like doing anything if I have the table method. This time it was just like I just froze by mistake. Please suggest me to get 75 to 80 percentile in CAT and topics. See, if you're getting so if you want to see what should you cover, if you want to get to 70 to 80 percentile, I would say that cover arithmetic well. That alone can take you to 75 percentile, provided you do all arithmetic questions properly. So I would say go deep in arithmetic, become very proficient at certain arithmetic topics. There will be some topics in arithmetic that might still be harder, like for example, time, speed, distance, time and work can be tricky at times. But at least the easier arithmetic questions you should be able to solve. Then go to either algebra or geometry. Once you do algebra, I would say start with the easier parts, linear or quadratic equations. If you go for geometry, start with triangles and circles. They're the base of everything in geometry. It's not easy, but if you don't do triangles and circles, everything else it becomes impossible because they are like the fundamental part of geometry. Don't worry, Vanshti, you are clearly smart. If you are able to solve these questions, you are smart. So you have to figure out what is stopping you from getting the marks, same marks to your capability in the mock exam. So what could generally stop you is that if you are somebody who can't stay focused for long periods of time, then you have to basically take a lot of mocks. So you are then able to do it for extended periods of time. Or it could be that you have like there are certain mistakes that you make while solving, or there are some clear weaknesses. Your idea should be that mocks and sectionals, you identify 3 weaknesses and you go at it like in between one mock and another. You just practice like crazy from the study room so that you don't repeat those mistakes in the next mock. Okay. So a lot of people are getting, what is this? 20%. Sanjana Bantia started with 20%. Vansh with 20, Aryan AG with 20, Ansh with 20, D. So a lot of people have gotten the answers. Saad Deshmukh, Sonama, Devesh. How to increase accuracy in VRC? Even if I attempt all RC with 1 to VA, I get 16 to 20 marks. A lot of mistakes I did in understanding as well as silly mistakes. How can I make sure I get to 40? So Ashad, what I would say is that when you're solving RC, right, you should not make a mistake in understanding the RC. So invest like a good 5 minutes reading the RC with full concentration. If you have put 5 minutes in reading the RC and you do active reading where you are writing down the main point of each paragraph, then you won't make a mistake in understanding the RC. Here basically the idea is that if you're doing an RC, you get at least 3 out of the 4 questions correct. If you are doing all 4 RC, you should get at least like say 9 questions correct. 27 marks should be there. Here basically the idea is always that when you are doing an RC, you make sure you put your entire attention in it. You put full focus, no silly mistakes, no mistakes in understanding. When you do that, your accuracy automatically will go up to about 75%, 80% as such. But if you read like just scan through the RC, then the mistakes will be very high. If you read the RC without writing down the main points, again the mistakes can be very high because you lose like concentration in the middle. Sometimes you are not able to understand something that you have read, so you lose like motive, like you lose track of what you are doing. So because of that, I always say that do active reading. It would mean that you don't you don't lose the flow of thought, you don't lose the idea of what you are reading, and the mistakes become much lesser. Okay, so a lot of people have gotten the correct answer. So let's try to see how to solve this. Rahul is a wholesaler who buys 20 washing machines, 15 TVs, 24 refrigerators. In such things, as always, I love my table method. Sometimes I mess up, but that's fine. Okay, so let's draw our tables. Okay, here we have multiple things. So a table is more or less necessary over here. Okay, so we have a wholesaler who buys 20 washing machines, 15 TVs and 24 refrigerators. A TV costs 33% more than a washing machine and a washing machine costs 20% more than a refrigerator. TV, washing machine and refrigerator. What is the number of units that he purchases? Purchase units are, he buys 15 TVs, 20 washing machines and 24 refrigerators. The TV costs 33% more than washing machine and washing machine is 20% more than refrigerator. So cost price, let's say that refrigerator is 100 because 20% more than 100, then if the base is 100, 20% more than 100 would be 120. And 33.33% more than 120 would be how much? 1/3 more than 120, so this becomes 160. During transportation, 1 TV, 3 washing machines and 2 refrigerators were damaged and could not be sold. If he sells all the remaining appliances together, find the maximum discount he can give such that he makes at least 8% overall profit. So here basically, these are the purchase units, this is the cost price. What is the purchase amount? That is the product of these two. So how much is 15 into 16? This would be 160, 1.5 times that would be 240, 2400. This is how much? This is also 2400. This is also 2400. So how much is the total cost price? Total cost price is 7200 for us. Now, what are the selling units that you have sold? You have damaged some units, so you have to remove those from the selling units. You have damaged 1 TV, so you're going to sell 14 TVs. You have damaged 3 washing machines, so you're going to sell 17 washing machines, and 2 refrigerators, so you're going to sell 22 refrigerators. Okay. If he sells all the remaining appliances together, so how much this should he give? He marks up all the prices of the appliances by 50%. Okay, so 160 becomes how much? Selling price is now 240, 120 becomes 180, 100 becomes 150. Now, do I get the selling price directly from here? I will calculate the selling price, but beyond that, I also have to give a discount. After discount, I should make 8% as the overall profit. So, how much is the total selling price? This would be how much? 14 into 24. Guys, you have the calculator. If you can quickly tell me, that would be great. What is 14 into 24? 240. This would be 11 into 300. 3300. This would be 17 into 18 would be how much? This would be 3360. Okay. And what is 17 into 18? 3060. Okay. Okay. So these are the total selling price after you use the calculator for this. Okay. So what would be the values? 289 plus. Yeah, 3060. Okay, so this is the total selling price. So how much is this? This is 600, 720, 9720. Now, 9720. This into some discount that is applied, 1 minus some discount percentage, divided by 7200 should be equal to a profit of how much? 8%. So it should be 1 plus 8%. So I can write this as 1.08, right? So how much is this value? What is 1 minus d% in this case? This is equal to 7200 into 1.08 divided by 9720. This cancels with this. What is the, if I just multiply, how much do I get? Use the calculator, quickly find out what is 720 into 1.08 divided by 9720. How much is this value? This value should be 10.8, 72, 7208. Okay, 0.8. Okay, so 1 minus d% is 0.8. So how much is d%? D is 0.2 in percentage terms, it becomes 20%. This requires some amount of calculation. You can try to mentally do it because 17 into 18 is like 289 plus 17, so 306. Or use the calculator. Here at least you can use the calculator because there's no point doing it mentally. But as much as possible, try to do the mental calculation. The reason why I draw this table out is because then I won't make a mistake. Because what is the selling price, what is the number of units, it's easy to make a mistake by considering any of those things. And small errors can creep in, and the moment that error creeps in, the entire thing becomes off. So let's go to the next question. Okay, try to solve this one. This is an easy one, and I'll give you a small this. Try to do this with allegation. because with allegation it becomes very easy. It's time slow and it's calculation intensive. That's fine, Yasir. Always remember that those kind of sets questions will take you 3.5 minutes. So the last question, if it is a like a 2023 like CAT Quant question paper, then you should solve that question because it is doable. But it is time consuming. It is going to take you, realistically, it is going to take you 3.5 minutes. So because it is going to take you more time, then I would say that think about whether you can do it, in how much time you can do it, because you have to use a calculator, all of those things. And there's a chance that you can make a mistake. If it is like CAT 2024 like quant paper where you feel that the quant section is easy, then don't solve those questions. To read the question is 1 minute, understand it, solve it, another 2.5, 3 minutes. By the time you solve it, it is 3.5, 4 minutes. And it's not a good idea to solve questions like that when it is a easy quant section. On the other hand, if it is like CAT 2023, those kind of questions I will definitely solve because I know that I will get the answer. So in those kind of scenarios, 4 minutes bhi chahiye to le lo, but solve it because it is worth it. All questions will be like that, so it is better to solve those questions then. Allegation help. Okay, good show. Okay, guys, many of you guys are still solving, I'm guessing. There's still time there, there's 45 seconds. I want everyone to solve, okay? Divyansh, I think if your concepts are clear, see again, a lot of this is, think of it in this way, okay? You have seen how to solve, you know the how to solve, okay? So you have basically seen like if you were to learn swimming, you have learned how to like move your arms, you have seen videos of how to move your arms, how to move your legs, but you have never swum yourself. So because of that, your swimming is slightly weaker. You're not able to swim fast. So how do you actually get better? Seeing videos or seeing more concepts will not help you after some time. All you have to do after a point of time is do swimming yourself. You have to get in the water, only then can you possibly improve. Over here also, if your concepts are clear, beyond a certain point of time, the concept video will not help you. Seeing other people solve will not help you. What will really help you after your base concepts are clear is solving yourself, solving lots of questions yourself. There are many people here in this chat box who have solved thousands of questions. I know many of my students who have solved like thousands of questions. We have just been very, very dedicated, solving every single day, solving quant rush every single day. So that is basically what it is going to take. If you basically practice every single day for the next 40 days, then you will do well in CAT. If you don't practice every single day, then no matter how many videos you have seen, it won't help you. So over here also, I am asking all of my students to solve questions. That is the only way to improve. After your base is clear, just solve crazy number of questions. That is the only real way in which you can say that I will be able to solve it on actual exam day, because you have basically learned to do things by yourself. Okay, a lot of people have gotten it. 560, easy question, and the allegation hint helped, I guess. Okay, so most of you have gotten the answer correct. So let's see how to solve it. A shopkeeper has 860 kgs of tea which he wishes to sell by the name of two qualities A and B. For quality A, he marks up the price by 20% and subsequently gives a discount of 10%. So markup of 20% is 1.2 and discount of 10% is how much? Into 0.9. So this is basically a profit of 1.08. So a profit of 8%. For quality B, he marks up by 25% and gives a discount of 5%. So therefore, you say up by 25%, 1.25 into 0.95. So again, you can use a calculator if you want, but just find out what is this much. Or I can say that it is 125 minus 5%. So this would be 0.625. 190 into 100 would be 125 into 5 would be 6.25 minus 6.25. So how much is this? 475 118.75. So this is basically 1.1875, right? Yeah. Okay. careful with the decimal, okay? Don't remove decimal, because if you see our options, they are round numbers. So be careful of decimal. Don't remove decimal unnecessarily. Okay. So from quality A, he gets a profit of 8%. From quality B, he gets a profit of 18.75%. Okay. If he gains 15% in total by selling all tea, what is the quality of the tea, quantity of tea that was named as B? So what are our inputs in the allegation method? One input is, in this the profit is 8%. So 8% over here. In this the profit is 18.75%. So 18.75% over here. What is the overall profit percentage? It is 15%. So how much is the ratio in which A and B should be generated? This is A, this is B. So this is 3.75%. This is 7%. What is the ratio of 3.75 by 7? This is, if I consider 0.75 times, I'll just multiply by 2, it becomes 7.5. This becomes 14. This is 15 by 28. 15 by 28 ratio, this is there. 15 by 28, if I add 15 plus 28, it is 43. So if I was splitting up 860, what is the multiplier that I have to consider? I have to multiply both by 20. 15 into 20, 28 into 20. How did I get the multiplier 20? If I add 15 plus 20, I get 43. The actual quantity is 860, which is 20 times 43. So the multiplier of that ratio is 20 times. So that means that I have to split it up as 300 and 560. So how much is the quantity of B? That is 560 kgs. That is option D. Once you have the profit percentage, you can easily use the allegation method to figure out the ratio. Once you have the ratio, you have the quantity. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next question. This is slightly tricky. Easy question, but slightly tricky, because here you have to consider as profit and profit margin. Okay. Here one person is referring to profit percentage, one person is giving profit margin. So I would say do my table method, then you will not make a mistake. If you don't do the table method, you might make a mistake. Okay. Is this CAT level? It is on the easier side. I would say it would come in say CAT 2024, but not on the harder side as such. Some sitters come. So even then there were some years where easy questions like that would come, but it is slightly easy level as such. Okay, how to increase if I daily solve 3 RCs and 10 VA questions? I would say that if you are solving a lot of questions, you are already there, be consistent. Don't give up. Don't leave, because if you stay consistent for the next 30-40 days, right, then you will see the results. Then you can go to 40-45 also. But stay consistent. Don't take any breaks from now till CAT. You're on the right path. 3 RCs plus 10 VA is enough, especially if you are already hitting 30. If you continue that particular pace, right, you will hit 40-42 by CAT. Okay, one small request to those who have just joined the stream. Guys, please like the stream. We are close to 400 likes, so it would be great if we can reach 400 likes. Okay. D 16 by 15. D. I don't know. I want everybody to answer. Then only I'll tell whether the answer is correct or not. I won't tell until everybody has answered. Come on, guys. There are still 27 seconds left. Answer the question. Okay, Asher is asking how to analyze mistakes in VRC. Like if I did something wrong, now analyzing mocks, what should I learn from my RC mistakes? How to help? This. See, basically, I'll say that in RC, I would classify firstly that the first check that you should do is, did you understand the RC properly? Sometimes when I am like not focused, right, I read an RC, I have one particular understanding of the RC. Once the timer is over, my understanding of the RC is better because I read the RC again. then I understand that, okay, maybe I didn't read it properly. So first identify, did you understand the RC properly? After the timer is over, after you are taking the analysis, did your reading of the and understanding of the RC change? That is the first indicator. Second indicator, see the question where you have marked the wrong answer. See each of the options again. Was there some distortion that you missed in the first reading? Are there any particular types of distortions that you miss? So there are a lot of people who have particular blind spots that they go for generalizations. They fall for generalizations often, or they fall for extreme options often, or they miss one word distortions. One word distortion happens to me also, because suddenly I just read the start of the option, sounds okay. I don't see one particular word which makes the particular option wrong. So one word distortions often get a lot of people like they fall for that trap. So try to figure out what was the distortion that you missed. What was it that was wrong about this option that you missed? Once you have a good idea about that, right, then you can be more vigilant about them in the future. If you know that I end up making a mistake of these type of distortions, then you can keep it in mind that I make a mistake with one word distortions. When I am confused between two options, it means that I have maybe missed a word distortion. Let me be careful about every modifier in each of the options. Modifiers are generally those words which change the meaning of the option quite a bit. So adjectives, adverbs, all of those you should be very careful of. If you fall for, say, one word distortions quite a bit, be very careful of those kind of modifiers. Then you can say that, okay, I have a tendency to make this mistake. I'll be extra careful about it while doing it while choosing the option in the future. Okay, so let's see how to solve this question. Okay, most of you have gotten it right. So let's see the question. Two bakeries, Best Bakery and Just Bakery, had the same revenue in a year and both earned the same profit, 25%. But Just Bakery calculate the profit on net revenue instead of the total cost. Then what is the ratio of the cost incurred by Best Bakery to that of Just Bakery? So you have revenue, cost and profit. Okay, this is just Best Bakery, Just Bakery. This is revenue. Both have the same revenue, say X. Okay, and you have cost, okay, and you have profit. Just Bakery calculated the profit on the net revenue instead of the total cost. So for Just Bakery, what was the profit? It was 25% of X. So this was 0.25X. So what was the cost? If X is the revenue, this is the profit. So how much was the cost? It was 0.75X, right? Then you will get 25% of the excess profit. What was the cost for Best Bakery? For Best Bakery, let's say the cost is C, right? Then its profit would be 0.25C. And then X would be how much? It would be 1.25C. So X is equal to 1.25C. And you are asked what is the ratio of the cost incurred by Best Bakery to that of Just Bakery. The required ratio is C divided by 0.75X. But X is how much? X is 1.25C. So this is C divided by 0.75 into 1.25. So how much is this? This is C divided by 3 by 4 into 5 by 4. So how much is this? This is 16 by 15. This is an easy question, but I know I saw the stats on how many people got it wrong. The stats were crazy because a lot of people made a mistake where they put the wrong ratio. They directly put 5 by 3. This is basically a lot of people make mistakes where they don't consider every single part, then they don't consider many parts. Then you will not have, see, the 3 by 4, 5 by 4 were multiplied together. A lot of people took a ratio of 5 by 4 by 3 by 4, got the wrong answer. Be very careful in these kind of questions. You should not miss them. Okay. Man couldn't understand. Which one? No. Okay. So I'll tell you again roughly. Over here, Best Bakery does what you are supposed to do. It is calculating profit as a percentage of cost. So if the cost is C, percentage profit is 0.25C. The revenue therefore is cost plus profit, that is 1.25C. This revenue of Just Bakery is also the same. That is X, or you can say it is 1.25C. This is equal to X. Both of them I started saying they have the same revenue. But over here, this person calculates profit, 25% profit as a percentage of revenue. So his profit is 0.25x. Of the x revenue, if 0.25x is the profit, that means the difference 0.75x is your cost. So your ratio of cost is C divided by 0.75x. C and x, what is the relation? This is the relation. So I will replace x with this 1.25c. So I'll get C divided by 0.75 into 1.25c. C cancels. So I get essentially this is 1 by 3 by 4 into 5 by 4, or rather it is 16 by 15. Okay. Let's go to the next question. This is an easy question, easy question. I want all of you to solve it and get it correct. Come on, guys. Ma'am, when I solve daily CAT RC, I solve it in 10 minutes. While practicing, I solve one RC in 10 to 12 minutes. But whenever I take the mock, I take up to 15 to 18 minutes for one RCs in mocks. Nikita, you need a lot more practice. See, basically to reduce the time, to reduce that stress, right, you have to become immune to it. So how do you become immune to it? Just do it so many times that the timer does not bother you. The timer affects me, it affects Maruti. We have done this many times, but it affects us. It makes you less focused. It makes you less like it makes you scared. And when you're scared, you're not able to think clearly. You're not able to read clearly. But it affects everybody. You have to assume that it affects say 99% of the student population. It affects teachers also. So I will say that you have to basically be one of those people where it affects you the least. And for you to become that, where the timer doesn't affect you, your thinking remains focused, you remain focused irrespective of the timer, is that you go through that process so many times it doesn't affect you anymore. So take a lot of concept tests, take a lot of practice tests, but take a lot of mocks. Nothing really simulates that timer pressure like a mock. A concept test daily target will give you some timer pressure, slight timer pressure, but the mock gives immense timer pressure. And to really face that timer pressure, you have to give 20 mocks. Then you will face it. Then you will understand what it means to actually be face that kind of pressure. Then you will become immune to it. But if you give 2-3 mocks, right, that timer pressure is going to mess up your score. Okay. Okay. So a lot of mixed answers over here. Now starting in CAT preparation, 1 month to crack CAT, yes or no? It is possible, Kamla. What I would say is that make sure that you cover the syllabus. You can check out our crash course, we'll cover the syllabus. In addition to covering the syllabus, you have to solve lots of questions. So I would say daily give 5-6 hours. In that, I want you to first cover the syllabus, see the concept videos, and give dedicated 2 hours for solving a lot of questions. Over the weekend, make sure that you take at least 1 mock over the weekend, or 1 mock plus 1 sectional, because you have only barely 4 weekends left before CAT. So try to do as much as possible in terms of learning. So see the concept videos, practice, so solve a lot of questions, daily target, study room, live sessions like this. And last, make sure that you take at least 5 mocks before the actual CAT exam. Okay, a lot of people have answered B. I'll come to the questions that you guys have about DILR. Just give me 1 minute, I'll come, okay? So a lot of people have answered B. Time is up, and it's an easy question, right? What did you guys think? Easy question, difficult question, what was your reading of it? Please tell for DILR, I'm unable to get marks in DILR, what should I do in one last month? Sanjana, you are clearly a smart girl, you are able to solve all of these questions, you are one of the first people to solve over here. So you are a smart person. Now, if you are quantitatively good, what is good for you? I would say try a lot of puzzles arrangements. If you are able to logically think, right, puzzles arrangements, you can develop the skill in that fairly quickly. Do at least 50 to 100 sets of puzzles and arrangements. This includes linear arrangement, circular arrangement, square arrangement, arrangement across levels, Einstein's puzzles, all of that. Try to do 100 sets. Apart from that, do very well in table-based sets. If you are a quantitative oriented person, you can do very well in the tables, charts as such, because those things will be much more intuitive for you. So do well in that. In addition to that, take a look at all quant puzzles, set theory, Venn diagrams, all of that. Those at least you should do well in. So the first thing that I always say for DILR, if you are struggling in DILR, do a lot of puzzles, arrangements, charts and tables. That is basically 2 out of 4 or 5 sets will be from these. So if that is the case, you will definitely get 2 sets if you are very conversant in these 4 topics. Do lots and lots of practice questions, practice sets from this. You will get 2 sets out of 5 for sure. Okay, so let's see how to solve this. Very easy, very good to see. Okay, so let's see the question. A, B, C start a business, each investing 20,000. After 5 months, A withdrew 5,000, B 4,000 and C invested 6,000 more. At the end of the year, a total profit of 69,900 was recorded. What is the share of B? So whenever you are considering partnership like this, you have to consider the product of money into the time invested. Okay, so money 1 into time 1 is to money 2 into time 2 is to money 3 into time 3. This is the ratio in which you have to basically split up the profits. So this is our required ratio. What is the ratio in which the profit has to be split? So for A, how much money did he invest? So for 5 months he invested 20,000. So 5 into 20 plus for the remaining 7 months of the year, he removed 5,000. So he had 15,000 still left. So for 7 months he had 15,000 still invested. This is A's contribution. Consider B. B had 20,000 for 5 months. So 5 into 20 plus for the remaining 7 months. This is for a year, right? At the end of the year. So total is 12 months, 5 months, 7 months. So for the remaining 7 months, after B removed 4,000, he had 16,000 still left. So this is 16 into 7. Let's take a look at C. For 5 months, he had 20,000. Then for the remaining 7 months, he had put 6,000 more. So that is 26,000. So this is 20 into 5 plus 7 into 26. This is the ratio that we have to figure out. So how much is this? 7 into 15 is 105. 105 plus 100 is 205. This is A's contribution. This is 100 plus 16 into 7. So that is 112. 112 plus 100. It is 212. And for this guy, this is 100 plus 26 into 7. 26 into 5 is 130 plus 52. So 132 plus 52 is 182 plus 100, 282. So how much is this total? 205 plus 212 plus 282. So this is 494, 699. So this ratio, if I consider, this is 699, sum of each parts of the ratio. That means this is 69900. 69900 means the multiplier in this ratio is into 100. So therefore, into 100 will give me A's share, into 100 will give me B's share, into 100 will give me C's share. So how much is B going to make? 212 into 100, that is 21,200, which is option B. Let's go to the next question. Okay, guys, for right now we have a lot of form filling coming up, form deadlines coming up, application deadlines for many colleges will come up. Do follow us on Instagram because we'll keep putting up different posts, informative posts. I don't want to miss any application deadline, any form filling deadline. So do follow us, and we put up a lot of reels, etc. on the Instagram also, just to make it a fun experience, a light-hearted experience, because a lot of people are under a lot of stress also. So do follow us because you will find some nice memes also on our Insta channel. Okay. Try this one. This is a fun one, easy one also, I would say. Let's see who gets this first. Is it possible to clear CAT in a month with a 9-to-5 job? Abhi, if you are able to give 5-6 hours every single day religiously, then you can do it. But the key is consistency. You have to be consistent for the remaining 30 days. 6 hours, 5 hours every single day. If you can do it, no Saturdays off, no Sundays off. If you are able to consistently give that time, then you can crack CAT. There will be nothing stopping you. We stop Insta for exam, that is fine, Matthew, I can completely understand. But just make sure that once a week that you check for application this, because at least 1 week they will give for application deadlines and all, so that you don't miss any of this. Some of them come before the exam also, so that's why I'm asking. Otherwise, most of the application deadlines are after the exam. No Instagram till November 30. I respect that, man. Completely understand. Ma'am, the audio quality isn't good. I'm sorry. Is the audio bad for you guys? Okay. I'm able to solve 2 to 3 sets in DILR and I'm seeing some good improvement in VRC, but I'm struggling to perform even in arithmetic. Before a month, I was doing arithmetic good, but not now. Divakar, that's fine. See, a lot of confidence is needed to do well in quant. I would say your DILR is mostly sorted. VRC is also okay. Just put a lot of time into your quant. I don't want you to leave DILR or VRC, but give 1 hour for DILR, 1 hour for VRC, but give 2-3 hours for quant. In these 2-3 hours, I want you to solve a lot of questions. Solve from arithmetic, solve from algebra, solve from geometry, solve from a wide range of topics. I would suggest for you, go to Quant Rush, because Quant Rush is the ideal way in which you can solve. Because that way, that's like a fun thing to do. It's like additional practice that you can get if you guys don't know about it. So in Cracku study room, if you go to our study room, there is a Quant Rush feature where you basically solve without any timer pain or timer pressure. There is some timer that is going on, but you are free to solve it and your marks depend on how much time you take to solve. But the idea is that you have to basically try to solve as many accurately as possible. If you get 3 inaccurate answers, then your quant rush stops. But the idea is that this is kind of fun for me and a lot of people to solve. And I want you to go there and try to solve like say 20-30 questions every single day. That will help you with arithmetic, that will help you with all the topics of quant. So do check out the Quant Rush feature if you have not done that. The same applies to you, Derek. Go and solve a lot of questions. There is no other magic bullet to doing well in quant. You have to go and solve a lot of questions yourself. Nobody can tell you to become better at maths. You become better at maths by solving questions yourself. Okay. A lot of people have answered the question correct. It is D, but let's see how to get to the answer. A shopkeeper sells 15 pence at the mark price of 12 pence. So selling price of 15 pence, 15 into selling price is equal to how much? It is 12 pence into mark price. So this is the relationship we can write. If he is able to make a profit of 33.33%, that is 1/3 in the transaction, then find out his markup. So what is selling price? This is the ratio. Selling price is 4/5 of mark price. But selling price is also profit 1 plus profit percentage into cost price. Selling price is 1 plus 33.33% can be written as 1/3. So this is 1 plus 1/3 into cost price. So how much is this? This is essentially 4/3 times cost price. So selling price is 4/5 times mark price, 4/3 times cost price. So what is the relationship between mark price and cost price? 4/5 of mark price is equal to 4/3 of selling price, cost price. This 4 cancels with 4. Mark price is 5/3 times cost price. But what is percentage markup? Percentage markup is essentially mark price is equal to 1 plus percentage markup into cost price. So 1 plus percentage markup is 5/3. So percentage markup would be 5/3 minus 1, which is 2/3. 2/3 in percentage terms is how much? 2/3 of 100% is 66.66%, or this. Some of you might have unfortunately fallen for the trap that is option C, but you should be careful. Read the options carefully before marking. The correct answer is option D, 66.66%, or you can say that it is 66.2/3%. Okay. Quant Rush helps me cover all the concepts in quants, and Verbal Rush is helping me increase the accuracy in VA part. Very good to know, Vikas. Keep at it. See, right now, till the exam is done, I want you guys to solve like thousands of questions. Quant Rush will help quite a bit in getting to that objective. So let's try to solve as many questions as we can. We have 30 days in hand. We should basically say that in these 30 days, I'll solve like say 1,500, 2,000 questions if possible. Okay. Let's see. This is a slightly painful question. I will tell you one small trick to solving this. Whenever you have any kind of expansion like this, okay? Now when n is not like square or anything like that, if n is a large number, it can become difficult to find out what the value of x is. So the trick is basically whenever x is a small enough number, you can say that this is 1 plus nx percentage plus nc2 x square percentage and nc3 x cube divided by like 10 raised to minus 6 and so on. But because if the percentage number is like say 5%, 6%, less than 10%, x square becomes a very small number. X cube becomes an even smaller part. So roughly I can eliminate this and I can say roughly that this is roughly equal to 1 plus nx percent. So what I would say is that whenever you want to find out what is 1 plus say 4% raised to 6, it should roughly be 1.24. You don't have to like use your head too much. It will be roughly 1.24. 1.24 something will be there. But roughly it will be 1.24. You can go off from that. Okay. There is my hint and I hope you can solve the rest of the question. That's a good attitude, Asher. Continue to do that. You will definitely just solve a lot of questions. You will get your you will be able to solve it right. How are you guys so fast? Yeah, they are being very fast. They have gotten most of the answers fairly fast. So good work, Vansh. Good work, Sanjana. Devesh, don't worry about it. Practice, continue to practice. And I would say since the last month is there, right? Try to practice from the screen as much as possible. You have to take the test on the screen. And sometimes even I hate reading RCs on the screen because I'm not able to put my finger. I sometimes lose track where I was reading. But the test is going to be like that. So you have to practice as much from the online format, from on like the computer as much as possible. Your test is a computer based test. Your preparation should also be computer based. So do it as much online as possible. Can you add DILI rush to the study? We'll try, but it won't work the same way because the whole point of rush is that after n number of this you end it doesn't work with that format. That's the reason. Okay, so a lot of people have gotten the answer B. Correct. Very good job, most of you. Very well done. So let's see how to solve this set. A sum of 50,000 accrues an interest of 13124 at the end of 4 years at X% interest rate compounded annually. It would have accrued an interest of 18,024 at the end of 4 years at Y% interest rate compounded annually. Find the interest accrued on the same sum of 50,000 at the end of 2 years if the interest rate is Y minus X% compounded annually. So firstly, our job is to find out what is X and Y. Now what would be X? So we say that the interest is this much. So the amount would be 50,000 plus 13,124. So the amount is 63124. This is equal to 50,000 into 1 plus X% raised to 4. Okay. If I see 1.3, I'll just bring it over here. I will say that divide by 50,000. How much is this particular value? Divided by 10,000, I'll remove, this is 5 and 6.3. This would be 1.2, 1.2, you have 1.2, 13, 6, 2, 4, 8. This is equal to 1 plus X% raised to 4. Now, if all of you remember like the value for 10%, so for 10%, it is 1.1 after 1 year, 1.21 after second year, 1.331 after third year, 1.4641 after 4 years. You should remember this like triangle. This is middle value is 2, 1 plus 1, 2. This is basically sum of 1, 2, 1, 2, you get 1, 3, 3, 1. This is basically the sum of this values, you get 1, 4, 6, this one. So over here, if I see 4 years 10%, it is going up to 1.4 as such. This after 4 years is going only to up to 1.2. So this is a small percentage, it is less than 10. So I can use my rough approximation method that I use. So this is basically roughly 1 plus 4x percentage, roughly, which means that 4x percentage plus 6x square percentage, etc. Which means my x percentage will somewhat be around 6%, then I'll get that particular value. So if I put in x percent as 6%, I'll put in the calculator, I'll check 1.06 raised to 4 is how much? Then I get the same value. So now I know for sure that x is equal to 6%. Our scientific calculator has raised to 1 by 4. The calculator that CAT gives does not have like square root by 1 by 4 and all. But over here, when we use this, we can roughly figure out, okay, it should be either 6 or 7, and 7 would be higher. So it should be 6 because 5 will not reach here, 6 will be close enough. Check for 6, 6 works, then you get that x is equal to 6%. Use and check once with the calculator before you move forward, because the whole point is you roughly try to figure out what the value should be, but check once with the calculator that you get if I put x equal to 6%, if I am getting this value or not. So x is 6%. I'll use the same trick to find out y percentage. So if the compound interest is this much, I add that to 50k, so I get 68024 divided by 50,000. This is equal to 1 plus y percentage raised to 4. So this is how much? This is 1.3 and 30, so 6,048. 1.36048. Again, less than 10% because for 10% I know it is 1.4641. I can use my approximation method. So this is roughly equal to 1 plus 4y. So y will be roughly how much? Either 8% or 9%. So what would be the value? Is it 8% or is it 9%? See, in our expansion, right? This is 1 plus 4x plus 6x square. So it is non-negligible. If I have 9%, it will not be just 1.360. That 0 will not happen. So I suspect it is not 9%, it is actually 8%, which will be y. So I will actually check what is 1.08 raised to 4 in my calculator. I get this value, so now I know that y is 8%. Now I come to the part that I have to figure out, that if it is y minus x% at 50,000 2 years, what is the amount? So y minus x is 8 minus 6, that is 2%. 2% compounded annually, so 50,000 into 8 minus 6, so this is 1.02 raised to 2 years. Again use the calculator, how much are you getting? This is 5202. So this is basically the amount. We are asked what is the interest accrued. 50,000 is the principal, amount is 5202. So the interest accrued is the difference, which is 2020. This requires extensive use of calculator. Don't try to like brave it out by trying to manually calculate. It is not worth it. Use the calculator as much as possible, but use it smart. You don't have like raised to 1 by 4, right? How do you find the fourth root, square root? You can't find it out. You estimate what roughly the value will be, then find the 1.06 raised to 4. That is easier to find than to find the fourth square root. Okay? Okay. Ma'am, samajh nahi aaya. Okay. Which part did you not get? Okay. Okay, I will tell again about the approximation part. Okay, Pascal's triangle and approximation. एक बार फिर से समझा देती हूँ. Okay, so when you have, this is basically 11. Okay, when you have 1.10%, it is 1.1 essentially. You start with 10, you multiply by 1.1, it becomes 11. If you are again multiplying again by 11, okay, it becomes 121. So the middle number can be found as the sum of this 1 and 1. So this is basically called Pascal's triangle. The next level, you start 1 over here. These two together is 3. This sum together is 3. Then put another 1 over here. This is 11 raised to 1. This is 11 square. This is 11 cube. When I was finding 11 raised to 4, this is how much? This is 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. This is 3 plus 1, 4, 1 calculated, 3 plus 3, 3 plus 1, and finally this. So this is 11 raised to 4. When I have 10% as the rate of compounding, in 1 year I will get 1.1. In 2 years I will get 1.21. In 3 years I should get 1.331. In 4 years I should get 1.4641. When the rate is 10%, it was going at 4 years it was going to 1.46. Our values were barely like 1.26 and 1.36, which indicates the rate of interest is a small rate. It is a single digit rate of interest. So X and Y are single digit rates of interest. Now, then we use a hack. What is the hack? It is basically binomial expansion. If you have, say, binomial expansion 1 plus x raised to 4. By a binomial expansion, I can say that this is 1 plus 4c1 x raised to 1 plus 4c2 x square plus 4c3 x cube plus 4c4 x raised to 4. This is binomial expansion. Now let's say it is percentage, 1 plus x percentage. So this will be 4c1 percentage. This will be x percentage square. So it will be basically x square divided by, this will be x square divided by 100 square. So this will be 10 raised to 4. This will be x cube divided by 10 raised to 6. This will be x raised to 4 divided by 10 raised to 8. This is a single digit number x. X square divided by 10 raised to 4. It will max change the third digit, but won't change the first two digits. X cube raised to 10 raised to 6 will max change the fifth digit, will not change the first two digits. This basically indicates that it is going to change very like end ka digits. It won't change the digits at the start of the expansion as such. It is not going to change the first digit after the decimal or the second digit after the decimal. So in general, whenever I have x percentage, I can roughly approximate it, say approx, I can remove all of this, forget all of this, because it will be a very small number. So roughly I can say that it is 1 plus 4 into x percent plus 6 into x square percent by 100 or 10 raised to 4. Essentially, if I am considering percent, it will be divided by 100 because 10 raised to 4, 1 10 raised to 2 becomes percent. So over here, if you see, this is going to most impact your decimal value. This is going to have a marginal impact, but not a big impact. It is going to have some impact. So it will not be like zero impact because till here still it has some impact, but not a huge impact. After that, it has like marginal impact. So by using this binomial expansion, and if I have say 1.26 something like that, I can tell very clearly that this one is gone. So it is 0.26. So it must be, x must be 6% and this x square would be 6 square into 216 divided by 100. So that is all basically it is coming from these two terms. The remaining terms are giving very little. So why am I using this method? To estimate what the value of x would be. If I don't do that, I get this is 1 plus 0.6 raised to, I have to basically find out what is 1.26 whatever raised to 1 by 4. Now when you are using Google will tell you the answer very quickly. You use the calculator that is there in CAT interface. There is no way to find this out. So how do you find out in CAT interface? You do this hack. By this you will find out what is the x percentage that will give you 1.26. That is the whole idea that I was trying to tell you. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next question. We can calculate using CAT exam calculator root function twice. That is if you have a perfect even root. But many times if it is an odd root, it will become impossible to do that. Okay. Yes, if it is an even root, it is possible to do that. If it is not an odd root, it is impossible to do that. Here we have even root, it is fine. If it is an odd root, I just gave this example to help you in case it is an odd root. If it is 5 years or something like that, how do you find out? So use this method in case you have an odd root. Okay, let's go to the next question. Pascal's triangle only works for 1.1. Yeah, it is basically that addition works only for 1.1. So if you want any power of 11, it is very easy to find it from the Pascal's triangle. It won't be valid for any other power. Okay, want random set? Okay, Aditya, I'll try to see whether we can make it. Mix practice. I'll just see if I can say, ask them to make puzzles, arrangements, mix practice. I'll try to get it done, Aditya. See by options. Okay. That is also works a lot very often with these kind of questions. With when I use interest and I try to find it from the right methods, no, it takes forever. But if I use option, it is generally faster. It's okay. A lot of you guys are getting the answer, but there is still 20 seconds left. Everyone should try to solve this. This is a plain question on interest, compound interest. All of you should be able to solve it. It's a simple question. Come on, guys, solve it. How many more questions left? Maruti will be coming now and solving 4 more questions, and then we'll be done. Okay, so the time is up. Let's see how to solve this. So Mr. Mishra invested 25,000 in 2 fixed deposits X and Y, offering compound interest of 6% per annum, 8% per annum respectively. If the total amount of interest accrued in 2 years through both fixed deposits is 3518, the total amount invested in scheme X is. So over here, you have for 2 years, okay, this is, what would be the amount? Suppose this 25,000 is split as X and 25,000 minus X. This is at 6%, this is at 8%. Okay, so what would be the total amount over here? This would be X into 1.06, the whole square. Okay, this would be how much? This would be 25,000 minus X into 1.08, the whole square. How much is this equal to? This is equal to, we are adding amounts, so we have to consider 25,000 plus 3518. So this is equal to 28,518. So we have an equation, we have X. We have to solve this to find out the value of X. That's it, pretty simple. So if I take, this is 1.06 square plus this is 25,000 minus this is equal to plus 25,000 into 1.08 square minus 1.08 square X. This is equal to 28,518. Use the calculator as much as possible to remove any additional this. So or I can write this as, this is I can write this as 25,000 into 1.08 the whole square. This minus 28,518 divided by, I have taken this side, I have taken this side. So this would be 1.08 the whole square minus 1.06 the whole square. This is finally equal to X. So what do you get the value of X in this particular case? Use the calculator, quickly tell me what is this answer. So if you use a calculator, you will get this value as, this is the amount in scheme X, you will get this value as 15,000. So the correct answer is option C. This requires this calculation. It was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And the only thing you have to do is basically use the calculator to solve these questions. You should never skip interest questions because I feel that they might take 1-2 extra minutes to solve, but you'll always get the answer. They are not difficult at all. Okay, I'll answer one last question and then I'll go to the I'll hand over to Maruti, who is going to do some more questions from mixtures. So I feel 1 month strategy for VRC, only mock se prep kare ya something else. Sujit, I will say do a lot of active reading. Solve, I would say 5 RCs every single day. Initially in your preparation, don't put a lot of weight for VA. Do a lot of RC. RC is basically the most important thing that you have to get right. So for first 10-15 days, just do a lot of RCs. Once your RCs are okay, then you can do a few days of VA and then you just prepare from mocks. Give as many mocks as possible. Okay. So I'll hand over to Maruti. He'll answer some of the remaining doubts you might have.
Okay guys, let's go to the next question. This is a pretty straightforward question. I hope many of you get it correct. Okay, people are asking for VRC revision strategy. Maybe we'll do it next week. I'll check with my team and we'll announce it. We are thinking of either VRC or LRDA next week. Let us see. Jinesh is saying, hello ma'am, I feel the more I study, the more I burn out, ending up with a lower score. What shall I do? Also not getting marks I want in the end and feel I'm putting efforts for it. Basically what I will tell you is you have to take mocks in regular intervals. It should not be too often or too rare. Right now I would say try to take 1 mock every 4 days or 5 days and try to prepare for it. Try to focus on what you have to do to get higher score in the mock. So it should not be dependent on something that you are going to do many days later. So when you have a very clear idea that okay, I'm going to take a mock in 3 days from now or 4 days from now, what should I do? What are the questions that I should solve? What are the topics I have to revise? So try to make yourself efficient with the goal of doing well in a particular mock. That way I think it will be better. If you're just studying or reading a lot without any focus on scoring high in mocks, maybe your mock scores will suffer. Shreyans is saying, hi sir, I've given GMAT and scored 665. How should I translate that prep into CAT prep? I would say take some mocks, because if you're focused on GMAT, take 1 or 2 mocks to figure out what you're doing in CAT. There is definitely a big overlap between GMAT and CAT, but there is also decent amount of questions or topics which are different. So one thing I would tell you which is very important from an exam taking strategy as to the difference between GMAT and CAT is GMAT has breaks in the middle between sections. CAT doesn't have breaks. So that is a very big thing which sometimes affects people, because once you submit verbal, immediately LRDA starts. You don't have any break and then you feel like slightly out of place because your mind is already thinking of verbal. So that is something that you have to be concerned about. Oh yes, how many likes did we get? We crossed 400 likes, man. That's fantastic. We got 402 likes. I think all of us should be pretty happy. Let us try to see if we can get to 425 likes before the stream ends. So maybe another 23 likes. Okay, let us answer this question. This is a fairly straightforward question. There are 3 solutions which contain acid content in 40%, 60% and 80%. The volume is A liters, A plus 1 liters and A plus 2 liters. So when A liters are there, the concentration is 40%. A plus 1 liters, it is 60%. And A plus 2 liters is 80%. Now, the final, when all these 3 are mixed, the acid concentration is 64.44%. What is the total volume of the resultant solution? It will be A plus 1 plus A plus 2, which will equal 3A plus 3. What is the acid content in the first one? It is 40% of A, which is 0.4A. What is the acid content in the second one? It is 0.6 into A plus 1. And what is the acid content in the third one? It is 0.8 into A plus 2. What is the acid content in the resultant mixture? It is 0.644. into 3a plus 3. If you equate this, you are going to get the value of a. If you are simplifying this, this is 0.4a plus 0.6a plus 0.8a, which is 1.8a, plus 0.6 plus 1.6, which is 2.2. This is equal to 0.644 into 3, a plus 1. What is 0.644 into 3? What is 6,444 into 3? This is 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. So this will be 1.9332a plus 1.9332. You can simplify this. So you are going to get that 0.13332a is equal to 2.2 minus 1.9332, which is approximately 0.2668, I think. You can simplify this. So a is very close to being equal to 2. So the answer for this question is option B, which is 2. Let me give a quick shout out to everybody who got this correct before moving to the next question. Vansh, Jinesh, Vikas Chaudhary, Devesh, Yasir, Ansh, Vaishnavi, Sonima, Sriram, Ayan, Yash, Akoja, Venkat Saikiran, Shubham and Siddhu Vempati. Let us look at the next question. This I would say is definitely an important question as far as CAT is concerned. This one and the next one. I think this is okay, but the next one I think is very important. Vatsal, what should be my target score in mocks if I am aiming for 99.5? In dash cats, I think if you are scoring above 90 on a consistent basis, you are definitely on the right track to get 99.5 percentile. I think if you are scoring above 80 also, you are definitely in with a very good chance of scoring 99.5 on the day of the examination. You have to do well on the day also, but yeah. Around 85 marks I think is good for dash cat if you are aiming for 99.5. We have 130 people who are watching this stream live, man. Very good to see. Sai Kiran Kachalai saying, how many questions left? Yasir Arafat said there are 42 slates, currently 37. Yes, man, there are few more questions. I think there are 2 more questions after this. Hello sir, my VRC accuracy has dropped suddenly. Well, I'm doing everything the same and I'm not able to solve QA questions in mocks while I'm easily solving them while analyzing. I think, see, as the exam is coming closer, people have this nervousness, this panic because they feel that suddenly their accuracy is dropping or suddenly they're not able to solve. All of that is psychological. It happens in 1 or 2 mocks and then you think that something has changed. But remember that nothing has changed. You're still the same person. Your accuracy will not be impacted so much within like a few days. So just try to relax and try to hold your composure when you're taking a mock. And sometimes your scores will go up or down, but this is something that is very common, so don't get worried about it. Just try to calm yourself down whenever you're getting nervousness. Let us try to solve this question, guys. So in this question, okay, in this question, the ratio of milk and water in a solution is 3:5:3. So we have milk and water. The ratio is 5:3. So let us assume that we have 5x milk and 3x water. The volume of the solution was increased by 25% by adding water. So what is the total volume of the solution? Total volume of the solution is 8x. This was increased by 25% by adding water. So if you're increasing it by 25%, what is the new volume? It is 8x into 1.25, which is equal to 10x. So this would imply that the new volume is 10x. Milk will remain the same because it was not added. So the remaining or the new amount that was added was all water. So the new volume of water is 5x. From the resulting solution, 100 liters were removed and replaced with water. If you are removing 100 liters from this, what is the amount of milk that will be removed? Notice that around here, milk and water are the same. So if you are removing 100 liters, 50 will be milk and 50 will be water. So once this is removed, what is the amount of milk? It is 5x minus 50. What is the amount of water? 5x minus 50. What is the total volume of the solution? 10x minus 100. But now this 100 liters which is removed is replaced with water. So now you are adding water to it. So what is the total volume of water? It is 5x minus 50 plus 100, which will simply be equal to 5x plus 50. This ratio is now given. That ratio we are told is 3:7. So 5x minus 50 divided by 5x plus 50 is equal to 3/7. You can cancel 5 in the numerator and in the denominator. This is x minus 10 by x plus 10 is equal to 3/7. We can cross multiply. 7x minus 70 is equal to 3x plus 30. So the value of 4x is equal to 100, or the value of x is equal to 25. This would imply that the original volume, the initial volume of the solution, which is what we are looking for, the initial volume, which is equal to 8x, the value of x is 25. So the initial value will be 8 into 25, which is 200. This is option A. Let me again give a shout out to everybody who got it correct before going to the next question. Vaishnavi, Ayam, Devesh, Sankalp, Vikas, Vishwanath, Jinesh, Sriram, Sumit, Sidhu, Yasir, Shreyansh, Shubham, Sonima, and Yesh Darji. Let us go to the next question, guys. Okay, I just wanted to tell you about the Cracku percentile predictor. I think I'm actually pretty proud of this, the amount of work that our team has done. There were two guys who put in a lot of effort to ensure that this is actually pretty accurate. They filed multiple APIs and they kept updating the percentile predictor to ensure that it is as close to the actual predictions as possible. You need to enter all of your details, 10th, 12th, all of them, and you need to also enter your NIRF rank for the UG Institute to get a very good understanding of what is the percentile that is needed for all of the big institutes. I personally would tell you to not focus on all of these things. Focus mostly on improving your CAT score. That is what is in your hands. But I do know that there are so many people who really want to know what is the percentile that is required on the day of the examination. To help them, we built this tool. So definitely do check it out. You have to just Google search Cracku IM call predictor. I would say this is actually one of the most accurate tools that is available. I know that there are many percentile predictors available, but I know the amount of effort that these guys have done and how invested they are in trying to make it as accurate as possible. So definitely do check it out. You can Google search Cracku IM call predictor. Maybe we'll put it in the chat also. But like I told you, I don't want to put a lot of things in the description of this video. But definitely do check it out. I think it will be pretty useful for you. This is the next question. Again, I would say this is an important question as far as CAT is concerned. Normal man is saying in VRC, I confused between two options and ended up choosing the wrong one. How to fix this? I think that is okay, man. That I think many people have the same issue. Don't worry about it. I tell them that it is basically just something that you feel that you are going wrong in the last two options. But if you are making progress and you are actually coming close and selecting the last two options correctly, that itself is actually a pretty big deal. Many times what happens is if you are able to identify the last two options and you are picking the wrong one, if you're picking the right one, when you're analyzing the mock, you would feel that, okay, I knew this answer. Suppose there are 10 questions in which you selected the last two options correct. By probability, you will get 5 of them correct and 5 of them wrong. But when you're analyzing these 10 questions and you check the 5 questions that you got correct, your mind will tell you that, okay, these 5 questions I anyways knew the correct answer, I got them correct. But only when you're looking at the 5 questions where you got wrong, you would realize that, okay, I got it to the last two options, but then I picked the wrong option. And then maybe something is wrong with me, I'm not able to pick the right option amongst the last two. But what might have most likely happened is you got equal number of questions correct and wrong, but the questions you got correct, you are able to tell yourself that no, I always got it correct, there was no luck involved. That happens with many students, it might have happened to you. Okay, let us try to answer this question. In this question, we are told that there is a 10-liter cylinder. In this question, we are told that there is a 10-liter cylinder that contains a mixture of water and sugar, with the volume of sugar being 15% of the total volume. A few liters of mixture is released and an equal amount of water is added. The same procedure is essentially repeated for a second time. As a result, the sugar content becomes 10% of the total volume. What is the approximate quantity of mixture that is released each time? Before we solve this particular question, let us assume that there is a mixture. It can be any mixture or any solution. Let us assume that the concentration of the solution is C%. Now, whenever amount of this solution is being replaced with water, suppose the volume of this container is say V, and every time suppose A liters are being replaced. This A is being replaced and this V minus A is remaining. Now A liters are removed from the mixture and replaced with water. This happens multiple times. Suppose this happens n times. Then the final volume or the final concentration of the liquid after this process is repeated n times is given by the formula C%, which is the original volume, into V minus A divided by V whole to the power n. So whatever is the amount that is remaining when A is being replaced, divided by the volume of the container, and you raise it to n. This is the number of times this process is being repeated. This will be the final concentration of the liquid. In this particular case, the initial concentration is 15%. Now the amount or the volume of the cylinder is 10 liters. V is 10. The amount that is being replaced, we don't know. Let us assume that it is A. The final concentration is 10%. So in this particular case, the information that we have is 0.15, which is the original concentration, into 10 minus A divided by 10 whole to the power. How many times was this process repeated? This process was repeated 2 times. This has to equal the final concentration, which is 0.1, which is 10%. If you are simplifying it, 10 minus A divided by 10 whole square is equal to 2 by 3. You can take the square root of it. 10 minus A divided by 10 is square root of 2 by 3, which is 0.67 approximately. This will be approximately 0.81. Or the value of 10 minus A is equal to 8.1, or the value of A is approximately equal to 1.9. If you're looking at the options that are given, the closest option is 2 liters. Let me give a shout out to everybody who got this correct. We have Vansh, Jinesh, Surender, Ansh, Vikas Chaudhary, Sonima, Ayam, Madan, Dhanno, Akoja Venkat Sai Kiran, Shaurya, Sriram, and Shubham Agarwal. Let us look at the next question. So isn't there a more intuitive way of solving rather than using this formula? I was getting around 1 point. I think you can solve it intuitively also. It basically, that formula also itself has to be intuitive. I can't think of a more intuitive way of solving these kind of questions, to be honest, unless you can derive the formula at the end of the day, but I don't think it is needed. Remember the formula, man. It is actually easy and also useful. Okay guys, we got 411 likes. Let us try to get to 14 more likes. Then we'll have 425 likes, which is a good number to have. Sir, any tips to improve calculation speed? I would say don't focus on calculation right now because it is not easy to improve the speed. You have to do a lot of these multiplications and it is basically a process. And it is not super important also. It will help you a little, definitely. You can get answers faster and all, but you have the calculator in the examination. What I would tell you on the other hand is, try to ensure that you know how to use the calculator that is given in CAT. We have a video on it. You can just search on YouTube, Cracku CAT calculator or something like that, where we have made a nice video on what are all the functions that are available in the CAT calculator that is available, and you can use it. Learn that, which I think will be more useful. Definitely go through that video, it will be helpful. Okay, let us try to solve this question, guys. In a cricket team of 11 players, the average age is 28 years. So what is the total age? The total age is equal to 28 into 11, which is equal to 308 years. Now the average age of three groups of players who were removed is 25, 28 and 30. So first group of three players is 25. Second group of three players is the average age is 28. Third group of three players, the average age is 30. So what is the total age of these 9 guys? That will be 3 into 25 plus 3 into 28 plus 3 into 30, which is equal to 3 into, what is the sum of these three numbers? That is 53 plus 30, which is 83, which is equal to 249. So what is the sum of the remaining two players? We have 11 players, the sum is 308. The sum of these 9 players is 249. Sum of those two players is 308 minus 249, which is equal to 59. What we are told is that this 59 is the age of the captain and the youngest player. So this is captain plus the youngest player, and we have some information about the youngest player also. The captain is 11 years older than the youngest player. So y is c minus 11. You can substitute it over here. 59 is equal to c plus c minus 11, or 70 is equal to 2c, or the value of c is 35. So the age of the captain is 35 years, which will be option C. Many people got this correct. Let me give a final shout out and tell you a few things which I mentioned even earlier. We have made a lot of very useful questions for CAT. And we divided them into 3 PDFs. One is for Quant, one is for verbal, and one is for LRDA. To get the Quant one, I want you to Google search Cracku Quant questions PDF. The second one is verbal. You can just substitute, instead of Quant, you can put Cracku verbal or VARC questions PDF. And for LRDI, you can just Google search the same. I'll just write it out just for no confusion. Cracku LRDI questions PDF. The reason I'm telling you this is because we get so many messages asking for the links. We'll be happy to give it, but I know that so many people are actually searching for these PDFs. That's the reason I was actually saying it. You just need to Google search these things to get the PDFs. What I would tell you is these PDFs are very, very useful. Try to solve them in the last 30 days up to CAT. Try to solve as many questions as you can from these PDFs. They will definitely help you quite a lot on the day of the examination. Many people ask me, what should I do in the last 30 days? When I give them a generic answer like you have to work hard, they come back and say, but we are working hard. What I want all of you to do is try to download these PDFs and try to finish a PDF. The PDF will not have a lot of questions. Maybe it will have 30 to 40 questions. You can finish all of these PDFs, not just Quant. In Quant, there are multiple PDFs like top number systems, arithmetic, times petitions, all of these things. Download all the PDFs and try to finish as many PDFs as you can before the day of the examination. The questions are done, guys. There is just one other thing I wanted to tell you. We are having a sale for CAT 2025. We are giving a discount. If you're looking for mocks, if you're looking for complete Cracku, if you're looking for a crash course, you can definitely do check it out. This is our support number. You can call us in case you have any queries about any of the courses that we have. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. I'm actually very proud of all the guys who are waiting till now. They have solved for 4 hours, which is something that you should all be very proud of yourself. Thank you, guys, and Jai Hind.